What is up, hooligans? Happy freedom. Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Hooligans, where we try to make the news suck a little less. I appreciate all of you guys being here. If you have a like button, please hit that like button. More likes, more hooligans. We're going to read through the schedule really quick. Then we're going to flip through all the chats, make sure everything is running smoothly. I am feeling a little bit better than the last time you guys seen me. I don't know. I'm just like disoriented and dragging ass. I really think it's all that bad food I've been eating because I haven't had a vehicle in a fucking month. I don't know. It's dragging me down though. Anyways, we're going to be starting off with, well, first of all, KJP is supposed to be live today, but she ain't supposed to be live till 3, which is like an hour and a half from now, and she's going to be late because that's what she does. So either this live is going to run into the press briefing, or the press briefing is going to be a completely separate live. We won't know till we get there. So that's a thing. We're going to be starting off this live with a video titled New York City offers migrants a free ticket out of town. They told everybody to come to New York, and now they can't provide. Then we have a video titled California Task Force could prosecute fentanyl overdoses as murders, which I don't know why they're not already doing that. Then we have a video titled Mike Pence drops out of 2024 GOP presidential race, which is hilarious. And then we have a couple President Trump videos. First one is Donald Trump gag order reinstated by federal judge, which is crazy because I didn't even know they lifted it. So that must have been really brief. And then we have a video titled Donald Trump's eldest 3 children testify in fraud trial. I don't know what they think they're going to get out of that, but they think they're going to find something. If anything, it's just publicity. They just want to be able to say that they had Trump's kids testify against him. And then we'll be wrapping things up with a video titled U.S. Military Begins Japan Seafood Purchases, which I'm still not really clear on what exactly that is. I know that they mentioned something about like releasing water or something from a nuclear facility, and now all of a sudden there's fish for sale. That was kind of all I got out of the video. Maybe a second view will give me a little bit more information. Not quite sure on that, but that's how we're wrapping things up today. I'm going to read through the chat really quick, make sure everything is running smoothly, then we're going to go ahead and get her started. What's up, everyone, over on jeffmaclive.com? What's up, Hair Juicer? What's up, Annette? Happy freedom, you hooligans. I did work on the website. Hopefully the whole login looping thing is over. I really hope it is. I don't know. Little tedious problems like that on the website are always frustrating, but I think I got it fixed. I think I have it fixed. What's up, everyone, over on Rumble? Happy freedom, you hooligans. Let's see. Oh, we gotta get those likes up. What's up, Slink? I appreciate you. What's up, Astral Hammer? What's up, Snooks? What's up, Pumpkin? What's up, Shannon? What's up, Christy Star? What's up, Elisa? What's up, RK? What's up, Silver Wolf? What's up, Boston? Appreciate all of you hooligans being here. Thank you, Silver Wolf, for joining the Gaming Gilded. I saw that earlier. What's up, Sly Dog? What's up, Boston, if I didn't get you? What's up, Firefox? Appreciate you hooligans being here. What's up, D-Cat? Happy freedom. What's up, C-Mick? I bet there's fish for sale. That's what she said. What's up, Ruby? Happy freedom. Appreciate you being here. Let's see how Odyssey's running. Or is it? Or is it? Yeah, we're right there. It's all good. What's up, everyone on Odyssey? Happy freedom. Don't forget to hit the fire. I'm gonna hit the little flame over there. What's up, everyone over on D Live? Oh, I gotta send them an email back. It's been like a week or 2 now. I need to remember to do that. You hooligans gotta remind me. I gotta send a bio to D Live so they can describe to normies what exactly we do. I'll have to figure that out. I don't know. I don't know how to put labels on what we do. Either way, what's up, everyone over on Kick? Happy freedom, you hooligans. Appreciate you guys all being here. Let's see. Yeah, we're running on Twitch. What's up, everyone over on Twitch? Happy freedom. What's up, Soul For Real? What's up, Mr. Beansy Beans? Snooks, you're omnipresent. And what is up, everyone over on GoofTube? Appreciate you guys being here. What's up, Robert? What's up, Sly Dog? What's up, Tim? What's up, B? What's up, Sandra? What's up, Damon Walker? What's up, Sly Dog? You're omnipresent. You're awesome. What's up, X? Appreciate you being here. What's up, Mike Drop? What's up, TH? Let's see, reading through. What's up, Nefties? What's up, CB? Happy freedom. Over 5,000 invaders came across the border in 2 days. They just walked right in. They said last month was the biggest month for border crossers ever. That's ever happened, like as far as modern times, I suppose. Last month was the most strangers coming across that invisible line that's ever happened. It was just terrible. What's up, All Rise? What's up, Anthony? What's up, Patriot Roy D? What's up, 24/7? What's up, Combat Vet? What's up, Dad? Happy freedom, all of you hooligans. They're testing to see if they're testing the fish to see if they glow. Well, they're trying to get our military to buy it and stuff like that. I don't know. It's not good. They're trying to make all of us glow. That way we can't spot the feds, I guess. Something weird is going on. What's up, 10 Man? Happy freedom. 10 Man, you got through the login. Yeah, it had something to do with the live viewing area. The security wasn't recognizing the live viewing area as a part of your profile availability. So you were logging in with authorization to get to your profile, the group pages, and the leaderboard. But then when you would go to the live page, it was seeing that as some different authorization needed. And so I had to go in and dig in the code and do all that stuff. But I think it's fixed. Hair Juicer blew a tire Saturday night. Sorry to hear that. I did see that the hockey player got his throat slit. I don't have enough information on it. There's not a lot of news outside of Twitter, so we didn't add that onto the schedule because I don't know enough about it. But I did see the video where like the hockey player gets hit, and when he gets hit, he like does a spin move and his leg comes up in the air and his leg just jabs like right into the throat of another player. I did see that. That is some crazy stuff. One, I don't think I could show it while YouTube is watching, and two, I haven't found enough details to really tell what's going on with that. There was something else that happened. I was just trying to think of a woman, I think was a teacher, was arrested for having a inappropriate relationship with a 13-year-old and then showed up at the 13-year-old's house or something like that and threatened to kill the mother and was armed, had a gun on her or something, and was going to smoke the 13-year-old's mom for like interfering or something. Which, I mean, I guess that, like, not I guess, that is terrible. That's a terrible situation. But man, I wish somebody wanted me like that, come in and gun my mom down just to be with me. My goodness, that's some love right there. I don't know, crazy is my favorite flavor. I shouldn't say that anyways. Yeah, there's some crazy stories out there, but I couldn't get enough details to put it on the schedule, so I assume it'll be on tomorrow's lineup. That's what I'm assuming. The other thing I've seen is that the LAPD official YouTube channel has been suspended for showing graphic content or something like that. Something, YouTube just doing YouTube things. They also banned some big account that has a huge following and all their followers are all upset. I can't remember who it is though. And then they're talking about doing a striking system to viewers who are using ad blockers. So a lot of people using YouTube have experienced that if they use an ad blocker that the video is like blacked out or whatever, you can't use it. Well, they're talking about implementing a system where if you continue to try and use the ad blocker and do things to get around their ads, that they'll just ban your account. You'll just be banned for using an ad blocker. And so I don't know how long everyone's going to wait for YouTube to shit on all of us before everyone goes to Rumble. But every day they're making it a little easier for everyone to go to Rumble, and I thought that was something. Anyways. Well, we'll read through the chat since we just did that little whatever that is, that little summary there. We'll read through the chat really quick, make sure everybody's doing good, and then we'll get started in this first video about how New York is a failing sanctuary city or state or whatever you want to call it. They're just failing. That's all we know for sure is they're failing. Let's see. Let's flip it through. What's up, Jeb? Happy freedom. What's up, Stoner? Appreciate you hooligans being here. Let's see. Astral Hammer, don't forget, if you have an extra home or cabin or spare bedroom, the government will appreciate you doing your part to home and a border crosser. I mean, a resident of Mexico. Yeah. We're either turning into Mexico or China. We haven't figured it out yet. I guess it just depends on who takes over first. You hooligans crack me up. DCat, YouTube is communist anyways. I go over there just to give you a like. Well, I appreciate you, DCat. Yeah, I can't stand YouTube. And like, you guys don't realize they got their hooks deep. You turn off all your search stuff. That's what my homepage looks like. When I open YouTube, it's nothing. It's just a black screen. It's because I won't let them harvest my data. I have all my settings turned off. Edward helped me work through it and Eventually, when I pull my head out of my ass, I'll have the instructions on the website, but you can turn off all your little trackers on YouTube and they will not show you videos because it's like they're mad at you. So they won't suggest any content to you. You only get a black screen. The only way I can watch videos on YouTube is if I actually search for them. I have to type in something. Otherwise, it's a black screen because that's my punishment for not allowing them to harvest my data. So if you open YouTube and you see something, just know they're tracking you like 80 different ways. It's messed up. What's up, Two Storms? Happy freedom. Let's see. Jeb, could Mexico or China do any worse than Old Man Walter? I don't think so. I'm just waiting for Old Man Walter to go out there and just burn the White House down in the name of rainbows and communism. And then we'll see what happens. We're right there. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and get this started. This first video is titled, New York City offers migrants free ticket out of town. First, of course, I want to remind you hooligans, we got these spooky hooligan shirts up. What is tomorrow, Halloween? I know Halloween's coming somewhere. It's coming or going. So this will be the last time we're going to probably advertise these shirts. Tomorrow's Halloween. I knew it was coming up. Either way, this is the last time we're going to show it, but we got the spooky hooligan shirts. As I said, you probably will not receive it before Halloween, but Halloween comes around every year, so you could save it for that. Or you could just rock it until Thanksgiving. That's not unheard of. But if that's not your style, if it's too spooky for you, you can go ahead with Scream Goat. Can't go wrong with the Screaming Goat. We got those designs and more. I got the Happy Freedom shirt on today. I'll drop those links in the chat for you hooligans to check out all the cool designs we have over on the merch store. Let's get this started.
In New York City, the migrant crisis appears to be hitting a new level of chaos as its shelter system is about to overflow. The city is now offering migrants a free one-way ticket to anywhere in the world, as long as it takes them out of New York. News Nation correspondent Jorge Ventura joining us live with the details. Jorge.
Natasha, the humanitarian crisis in the Big Apple. Now the mayor's office is considering new drastic measures to give migrants arriving in his state some form of shelter. According to the Wall Street Journal, New York City officials have discussed the idea of giving newly arrived migrants tents, literally giving them some form of protection rather than sleeping on the streets of New York. On Tuesday, Mayor Adams said that the city has run out of hotel space to house the 65,000 asylum seekers in New York City. This reported move to pass out tents comes as reports surface saying that migrants are being evicted from shelters and are told to reapply at a site in the East Village. Upon arrival, they are told that they are at a reticketing center in Manhattan, which will provide asylum seekers with a free one-way ticket to anywhere in the world as long as they leave New York City. This initiative comes as Mayor Eric Adams describes the migrant influx as a crisis. More than 130,000 asylum seekers have arrived to the nation's largest city since last year, and Adams says the city is out of room. With shelters at full capacity, Adams says it isn't a matter of if, but when migrants will be forced onto the streets as winter approaches. The mayor's office says that they have rushed to set up more than 200 emergency shelters to house migrants, as more than 65,000 continue to live in the city's shelters. Right now, adult migrants are limited to 30 days in city shelters, while migrant families with children are limited to 60 days. They, however, can reapply for housing if they are originally rejected at their previous shelter. And for those plane tickets for those migrants, the city says they are completely voluntary at this moment. Natasha.
Jorge Ventura with that live report tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com.
Well, that didn't last very long. All of a sudden, they're out of room. I mean, they've been sleeping on those sidewalks for months now, but all of a sudden, they're out of room. You know what the first thing I thought of when I saw this video is I remember last year in New York, not that I've ever been there, but I remember last year that we had a terrible winter storm that happened over a weekend. I can't remember what they called it. You know, they put some special title on it or something, some gender inclusive name and all of that. But they were digging bodies off the sidewalks, out of cars, pulling them out of homes that had lost power, where people just simply froze to death inside the building, inside the houses. And it took like a week for them to chisel out the citizens in New York to scrape their corpses right off of the roads there. That was prior to what we're looking at today. They're going to need a whole plow system to pull those illegal border crossers off the sidewalk when their frozen carcasses are stuck there. It's no good. It's no good. So now they're offering plane tickets to anywhere in the world. Where would you go if you got a free plane ticket to go anywhere in the world? Type where you would go in the chat, because that's quite the offering. That's quite the offering. You walked all that way and you came here all illegally, getting that free money every month. You get to come to America and get all the free stuff. You don't have to pay taxes. You don't even have to give your real identity over. There's no real tracking system other than the iPhone you were given. And your only connection to us is your EBT card, where you receive $2,200 because you brought a stolen child across with you, and America thinks you're a parent and you deserve our money for free. Well, on top of that, you get a free plane ticket to go wherever you want. Well, now that you've got your free resources from here, why not just, go to Hawaii? Go to France. Go see the world. Go see the world. Go walk the Great Wall of China. Why don't you just go on vacation? Why not? You're getting everything else for free. Might as well just get that for free too. I don't know. Well, it is cold out. Maybe they'll just take that plane ticket and go to Southern Cali. Go hang out with the drug addicts and homeless down there. No good. It's no good. They can't find enough ways to waste our money. Between these sanctuary cities and the government that is constantly claiming that they're about to have a shutdown, on top of sending money overseas, they just can't blow our money fast enough. We shouldn't give our money to anybody other than each other. This is another reason why I'm saying everybody needs to figure out what they're good at or what they think they want to do. Go out there and try and do it. Stop being an employee. Go be an employer. Go work for yourself. Because if everybody in town served a purpose, served a trait of some sort, we would just give each other money. Yeah, the government may get taxes and stuff like that, unless you're working under the table. And we had a whole city doing that. The government would be like, where's our tax money? We got these spots on the map where there's just no taxes coming out, but the city seems to be functioning. Something weird's going on here. And maybe they'd have to wake up to their own bullshit. I don't know. We need something. Because this just isn't working. We're going to read through the chat really quick before moving forward. This next one's talking about how they're going to start charging drug dealers with murder charges because of fentanyl, which sounds like a good idea to me. Just reading through. Let's see. Annette. Well, yeah, I hope you and Dan are feeling better. I know you guys have been sick over the weekend. Let's see, reading through. DCAT, I like living in the sticks. I miss living out in the sticks. I mean, I kind of live in the nowhere. I live in a village. I live in a very small village, but I used to live in the middle of nowhere on 10 acres of property. And I miss that. I don't miss the devil woman I used to have to live with, but everything else, I used to miss being away from people. Can't trust them. Let's see. Stoner, you think they should all be dropped off in the blue and yellow country? Well, they could, it's not exactly sanctuary, but it's somewhere they could be. They could be there. DCAT, if you could go anywhere, it'd be Tahiti. What's in Tahiti? I don't even know where that is. I'm probably not even pronouncing it right. Arcade, go to the Bahamas. Jeb, it wouldn't be Flint, Michigan. I'm kind of surprised they don't send them there. There's places like that. Places where it's already run down and the citizens are already really unhappy. So let's just pack it full of people who aren't supposed to be here. Why not? I mean, that sounds totally like what the government would do. Snook should go to Tennessee. Go hang out with Sam. Let's see. Two storms, all these wars going on soon. Democrats will have to immigrate a foster goat program to the USA. I know they're going to offer all those people sanctuary just like they did in Afghanistan. We pulled out of Afghanistan and we just brought all kinds of people here, plane trips and all that stuff. And they don't even talk about that. They brought a ton of people here and they were all being brought into bases and all this weird stuff was going on. And then all of a sudden it just died down and they didn't talk about it anymore. And we're going to end up with people from the Middle East doing that too. We're going to bring plane loads of them here because they need sanctuary. I don't know what they like. They must think Americans are homeless for fun. The Americans just love living on the streets. Veterans and all this, they just like it. They like it. We have plenty. The whole world can come live in America. Americans are homeless because it's fun. It's a fun thing that we do here. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I don't even know how they sell that to the world. I don't know if we don't have homeless people on TV in foreign countries or what. Like, I don't know if they don't believe Americans are homeless. But there's no way that I'd be wanting to leave where I am versus fixing where I am. But I'm going to go to a place that already has homeless people that were born there. They were born there and they don't even have the privilege of being in a house. So I'm going to go move there. No, I don't think so. No. Can't pour into somebody else if your glass is empty, and it's looking a little empty around here, so I don't know. Let's see. Flipping through really quick. Yeah, Snooks, they asked for it. And I kind of think that's what it is they don't want the publicity of having to dig bodies off the sidewalks once the snow starts falling. DCAT, they could always put them on a train and send them to DC. They should. If all those people on Capitol Hill think those people should be here, they should have to house them and provide resources and all that stuff. They should be able to bathe in the benefits of their choices. Jeb, send them home. That's what I think Trump's going to do. We get Trump back in office. He keeps saying we're going to have the biggest deportation that's ever happened in American history. And that'll free up some resources and doll hairs for us. Just flipping through a little bit more before we move forward. What's up, Miss Jamie? Happy freedom. I'm jabbing someplace with no deer. I'm saying, I don't even want to look at another deer. Tomorrow, I can't remember if I told you, Hooligans, or not. Tomorrow afternoon, probably after the live, I'm supposed to call and see what the word is on my car. Maybe they put the new motor in. Maybe they haven't got to it yet. I really don't know. But I'm supposed to call tomorrow and see. Maybe it'll be all done. I don't know yet. Kind of excited to see what's happening with the car. Kind of a person that doesn't get their hopes up because nothing ever goes right. So I'm somewhere lost in between. I'm excited to make the call tomorrow. I'm just not getting my hopes up about what I'm going to hear in return because it's been a rough ride trying to get through this car situation. Let's see. What's up, Breezy? Happy freedom. Two Storms, as a legal immigrant, all those illegal aliens are a huge slap to the face. Yeah. There's a lot of videos like that too, where Americans, well, yeah, people who have legally migrated here, Americans, and they are pissed. They're pissed. We covered a video where there's some people who migrated here 15 years ago, and then all of a sudden their legal standard being here was just revoked for no reason. And now they're going to be shipped back to their country, which I can't remember where it was. I want to say somewhere in Europe. And after being here for 15 years, all of a sudden they have to leave. They just have to go. But if they would have came here illegally, they'd be getting a free ride and everything else. And they're pissed. And when we covered it, they were talking about how does this make sense? They did the legal thing. They did the right thing. They came here the right way. They jumped through all the hoops, and there's a ton of red tape to come here legally, and they did it, and they did it successfully. Their kids are in school and all that, and now all of a sudden they got to leave. But the people who are here illegitimately, nah, they're good. Free rides, free plane tickets, free Nikes, everything. It's trash. What's up, Prison Hug? Happy freedom. What's up, MK? Appreciate you being here. MK, are they already going after people who are using the ad blockers? Let's see. They told me that if I watch one more video with the ad block, they would block my video player. I guess my IP address. Kind of weird since I've bought movies on TV. Don't know what's up with that. Screw them. YouTube is trash. Yeah. And that's what I was reading about. I use the Brave browser, which has an automatic ad blocker in it. And so the YouTube videos you guys are watching through all of this is actually, obviously, ad-free without being penalized. So if you are a person that uses ad blockers, maybe download the Brave browser. It's free, and you don't have to set anything up. I mean, you know, you just use it. And it seems to use YouTube fine. And YouTube hasn't caught on to that ad blocking yet, as you could tell, because you can watch the videos. So we're going to cross that road when we get there. I've had that in the back of my mind. But just in case that could be of use to you, check out the Brave browser. It's got that built-in ad blocker. Let's see, flipping through really quick. Let's see if we're on the front page of DLive. It's been a couple days. They're doing some sort of clip it party or something, but I don't even know how to do that. Nah, we're not on the front page. We're not their favorites anymore. Clicked on the wrong thing. I gotta get back to what I was doing. There we go. Gray Wolf. They can't keep Trump off the ballot. Yeah, they're trying. They're trying hard. We have a video. I think the one's talking about Trump's kids testifying. They're talking about how they're like, Blue Team is trying so hard to keep Trump's name off the ballot. I still think Trumpers would just write his name in. Could you imagine if that's how he won? People just wrote his name in so much that they just had to put him in office. That would be something. Just reading through a little bit more right before we move forward. Non-GMO was one of Santa's reindeer named Thumper. It was after I was done with him. Non-GMO fidget chapstick. That's what I got. See, that's what we need. We need to come out with like sleeves or something for your chapsticks so you can just turn it into a fidget spinner. So, I don't know, that's $1 million idea right there. Let's see. Dad living in a tent during the winter is not going to work. Ice cubes in tents. Yeah, I think they're just offering that because it'd be easier to dispose of the body. You just pick the tent up and just throw it in the dump truck and then just, you know, make your way down the road there. Everybody's like, what are they doing? Oh, they're just cleaning up from the homeless camps. It's stuff they left behind. Don't worry about it. Really, they're just throwing bodies in the wagon. Nobody knows. Could be. It could be. What's up, Nefties? Thanks for being over on the website. So we're going to move forward to this next one. It's titled, California Task Force Could Prosecute Fentanyl Overdoses as Murders. Sounds like a good idea to me. If fentanyl is killing 300 Americans every single day, as the government says it is, why not? Why not charge drug dealers for murder? Why not close the border? Maybe that would fix things. I don't know. Just cut the head off the snake right there. But no. We'll start at the ass end of the problem. We'll just go ahead and prosecute drug dealers as murderers. I mean, it is a good start, but that plus closing the border, we wouldn't be losing 300 Americans every day. Jeff Mac 2028, don't you forget it. Anyways.
Of California planning to change how it addresses the ever-growing opioid crisis.
A new initiative would increase the charges against drug dealers. So if they're found to have sold fentanyl to somebody who dies from the drug, you know, the consequences they face are even harsher. Jorge Ventura joins us now with details on this new initiative. Jorge?
Good morning, Marky. So the city of San Francisco is partnering with Governor Gavin Newsom to launch a new task force. Its aim is to investigate fatal opioid-linked overdoses as homicide cases. In a statement, Governor Newsom saying that the opioid crisis has claimed too many, and fentanyl traffickers must be held accountable, including, as appropriate, for murder. Now, traditionally, fatal overdoses are not investigated as murders, but with this new effort, drug dealers linked to fatal overdoses could stand trial for homicides. The new task force will include the San Francisco Police Department, the San Francisco District Attorney's Office, and the California National Guard. Officials investigating these deaths will look for evidence at overdose scenes that can be tracked to a dealer. Now, this new task force will be especially focused on the Tenderloin neighborhood in San Francisco, where local authorities have already arrested over 500 drug dealers just this year, Marky.
here. Yeah, the numbers are staggering. And Jorge, put this into perspective for us. I mean, how bad have things really gotten for this kind of policy change to be needed? And not only that, but for federal officials and agents to have to be on the ground overseeing it.
Yeah, so according to local officials, they are reporting that the city of San Francisco is set to reach 800 fatal opioid-linked overdoses just this year. That will be more than back in 2020 when the city recorded 726 opioid-linked overdoses. Majority of those are fentanyl-related. Now, from the state level to the federal level, officials are working together to get drug dealers off the streets and to crack down on open-air drug markets. San Francisco is included in the Justice Department's Operation Overdrive, a task force that gathers intelligence on where the supplies to make fentanyl is coming from and how it's being distributed around San Francisco. And as the city attempts to clean up its streets and its image, according to Mayor London Breed, this new task force will put all drug dealers on the city on notice.
All right, good to know. Jorge Ventura, thanks so much.
Thank you for watching. Go to News Nation now.
Well, that's a good start, I guess. He said, how bad is it when federal and state agencies have to be on the ground to enforce this? Well, as long as you want the border wide open, I suppose. You know, the components to make it come from China. Its final product is coming from Mexico across that invisible line at the southern border. So we close that. That stops the import of it, or at least significantly slows it down. Then you start enforcing the laws of disorderly. So when you see an alleyway full of zombie drug addicts, you go and arrest them. Because it is illegal. It's disorderly. Go enforce the fucking law. Pick those people up. They're going to have withdrawals. They're going to express crazy emotions because they're suffering from withdrawals. Have them tell you where they got it. Then go charge those people with murder. Then arrest them because murder is illegal. And ta-da. Like, I don't know. They make simple problems really hard, and when we figure out that there's hard problems in the world, it really makes me fearful because our leaders are either really stupid or they just really don't care. It's one or the other. It's probably both, honestly. It's probably both. Either way, we're going to read through the chat really quick before moving on to the next one. This next one is, it's going to be us just laughing about Mike Pence. We're going to read through really quick. Annette, are they going after the cartels? Because that's who's bringing it in. They should be. They should be, but the cartels are their comrades. I think the government uses the cartel as controlled opposition. I wouldn't be surprised if the cartel was just CIA agents. They're not even from Mexico. They're just Americans working on that side of the border for the corrupt government. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Let's see. They're trying to do that bullshit in Colorado, trying to keep Trump off the ballot. I don't know. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. I swear Trumpers are going to write that name in. He's going to be in the office one way or another. Legitimately. He'll be there legitimately. Just reading through really quick. What's up, Pumpkin? Happy Freedom. What's up, Serum? Let's see. You know, Serum, I'm kind of surprised that they haven't legalized fentanyl. Considering it's killing 300 Americans a day, I'm surprised the government didn't hear that and go, let's make it 5. Let's make it 500. We'll just legalize, we'll decriminalize it in all the blue states. And then, you know, we'll hand it out for trick or treat. See how many Americans can die. I'm really surprised they haven't done that. What's up, Tam Tam? Happy Freedom. Low Tech, need to watch the movie Made in America. I'll have to check it out. What's up, Patriot Polywog? Happy Freedom. Astral Hammer, wasn't the Tiger King a write-in? I'm trying to think. What about Kanye West? Nah, I think Kanye West was legitimately campaigning. He should do that again. I wonder how that would go right now with everything going on in the Middle East. What's up, Gonzo? Happy Freedom. Just reading through the chat really quick. Snooks, are you telling people on Rumble to join Rumble? You're an overachiever. You're an overachiever. What's up, Beach Mama? Happy freedom. It's cold in East Lansing. It's cold out here on the west side too. We got that lake effect. I had to actually close my windows. You know it's cold when I'm like closing my slider and stuff, because even in the wintertime, a lot of times I got it open like this much. I'll have my slider open enough to where there's a small pile of snow in my living room, like at the bottom, and I get too hot. I run too hot, but today is cold. That wind is frigid right now. Firefox, you know hunting deer with your car is not a good thing. It is now that I got full coverage. I'm telling you, those deer better not run out in front of me. They better not. They'll be lucky. The officers will be like, says here you're going 115 when you hit that deer. You know it's only 75 here? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know, Biden math. I don't know what you're saying. He's going to be like, okay. Sir, you have to identify, or you have to refer to my identity as Your Majesty. Otherwise, you know you're committing a 5-year felony. He's going to be like, sorry, Your Majesty, did you know that hitting a deer at 150 miles an hour is not right? I'm sorry, I don't know what you're saying, sir. You must be you must be one of those racist cops. He's going to be like, never mind, you're free to go. That's all it takes anymore. That's all it takes. You just start yelling, who streets? And they'll just take the cuffs right off you. Never mind, you're free to go. You're free to go. Let's see. Flipping through a little bit more. I don't want to race through the live today. Plus, we're waiting for KJP. She's supposed to be on in 52 minutes. 51 minutes, it looks like. I'm not like terribly excited to see her because the last few have been absolutely worthless. They just go out there and talk about the Middle East, and then they claim they know what Americans want, and then they don't answer any questions, and then they leave. And I really have not enjoyed showing it the last 7 times or so. Thank you so much, Mr. Beansy Beans, for gifting a sub over on Twitch. I appreciate you, Mr. Beansy Beans. Thank you. You're awesome, Mr. Beansy Beans. Let's see. Oh, you know what's really interesting is that you cannot say Israel on Twitch. Shunt 2 of your comments. Actually, I think it's the same comment you tried to write twice. They're all being flagged on Twitch. Yeah, you cannot write Israel on Twitch. God, what kind of censorship is that? You can't say a whole country's name? I'm surprised they haven't banned the USA. Oh, you can't write USA on Twitch? That's a racist country. Don't you know that? That white supreme pizza, it's just out there running rampant. I don't know. That's a weird one. That's a weird one, Twitch. My goodness. Shunt, there you go. That passed. That passed. I don't know. I don't know who the good guys or the bad guys are over there because I live in America. I don't live in the Middle East, so I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't understand nothing of it. I seen that there was a bunch of teenagers, I don't know about teenagers, some young 20-year-olds blocking the Brooklyn Bridge either last night or the night before, and it's all over TikTok. And everybody on TikTok is saying, what the hell does that do for the people over there? Like, the people in the Middle East don't give a shit that you're blocking a street in America. What does that do? I will never understand the protesting going on here for over there. I don't understand what the point of that does. Like, people already have grown an intolerance for protesters. Protesters who are protesting things here. Now you're protesting things that aren't even going on here. I don't know. They're going to turn those protesters into bumper stickers. They don't chill out. There's a lot of people who want it. They want it. There's nothing more they want than to run over a protester screaming about dumb shit. I don't know. It's not good. It's not good. What's up, Davon? Happy freedom. Appreciate you being here. Cheryl, you're going to write in the Orange Eagle. I think everybody is. They might as well leave his name on the ballot unless they want to try and figure out everybody's handwriting when they're reading through those ballots. Status Quo, stop making sense. I know. It just happens. I appreciate you being here, Status Quo. It's just how it goes. Let's see. All right. Well, I think we're good to move on to the next one. Red Dog can't say God on Instagram. It's against their community guidelines. Well, that's because Instagram is running a pedophile ring, and they allow pedophile hashtags to be used. So if you're a part of those kind of terrible people who don't deserve to be on this side of the planet, you can use those hashtags to go and be a part of all the terrible things going on in the world. And Instagram knows about it and they just let it slide. But no, don't talk about God on there. What kind of person are you over there talking about God? No, they want you to just go over there and prey on children. Yep, they're terrible. I don't use Instagram at all. Not at all. My account is still there, and unfortunately there's people that try to send me news links and stuff through it, but like I don't even check Instagram. Like it's just there. It's just there so people know I'm there, but I'm not there. I'm existing. But I'm not actually on Instagram. It's just there. It's like a movie poster in the neighborhood. Just so you know I'm around doing things. Otherwise, no, I'm not hanging out on Instagram. It's a terrible place. It's a terrible place. Anyways, this next video is titled Mike Pence drops out of 2024 GOP presidential race. I don't know why he ran. What an idiot. Every time he steps on stage, everyone just starts chanting traitor. I don't know why he signed up for that. Like, did he not think that's what was going to happen? He's like, well, Hillary Clinton's out here, you know, doing rallies and people love her. Maybe they'll love me too. And then he steps on stage and everyone's like, you're a fucking traitor. He's like, never mind. Goes back behind the curtain. He's like, damn, I hate that. I hate when that happens. He's tapping out. It's too much. It's too much. What an idiot. Let's get this started.
Another Republican presidential candidate suspending his campaign over the weekend. Lauren Simonetti has the details.
And the field narrows. After former Vice President Mike Pence dropped his 2024 bid for the White House, he did struggle to gain traction in the polls and keep the fundraising going. Pence made his announcement at the annual Republican Jewish Coalition Summit in Las Vegas, saying it is not his time. And President Trump now calling on Mike Pence to endorse him for president.
I love that. I love that. Not only did he eat shit the whole time he tried to rally or campaign or whatever you want to call it, but then as soon as he calls it quits, President Trump makes that phone call. Hey, buddy, I'm going to need you to endorse me. Should have been doing that instead of running yourself this whole time. If you endorse me, maybe the American people won't eat you alive anymore and you might be able to walk safely on the streets. And maybe they'll even stop calling you a traitor. Probably not, but you should still endorse me anyways. President Trump, he's the best. He's the best. That stuff cracks me up. Endorse Trump. I hope he does. I hope he does. He's such a bastard. Best thing he could do for himself is support Trump and co-sign on him. That's what I think anyways. We're gonna roll through these comments really quick. The next one we got, the next two we have are about the Orange Eagle himself. First one's about his gag order being reinstated when I didn't even know that it was lifted, and then the other one is them forcing his kids to testify against him in court. It's coming up soon. Matthew, it's over. It is. Mike Pence, what an idiot. Can't believe it. I don't even know why he ran. I don't know why he ran. I did not see one person who was like, yeah, let's get Pence in office. Not anybody. Pence is the only person I know that is liked less than Old Man Walter. And it's not even really for justifiable reasons. I think it's just that Old Man Walter is at least entertaining while he's a failure. Mike Pence isn't. He's just chalk. It's just nothing there. No kind of character or anything. It's just nothing. It's just chalk. There's nothing going on. Let's see. Just reading through really quick. What's up, High Plains Drifter? Happy freedom. Matthew, total annihilation of the West. That's what they're trying for. Gonzo, support me, bitch. Yeah, that's what Trump did. That's what he did. He's like, well, since you woke up, come to your senses. Let me tell you what you need to do. You need to support the Orange Eagle. Pence probably cried hard that day. He cried in the car. Two Storms. Pence reminds me of the white-haired father from Superman. I haven't seen Superman. He reminds me of, there's a bad guy, I want to say on Marvel movies or something. I want to say it's a superhero thing. I don't know if it's DC or if it's Marvel, but there's a white-haired guy that looks just like Pence. And I've said that since the very first time I seen Pence. He looks like a supervillain. He's got like the appearance of a supervillain. I mean, he's got the brain of an idiot, but The outside looks like a supervillain. Normal times, both of his supporters are disappointed. His mom and his dad. His dad and his dad's boyfriend. You guys better chill out, okay? You get me all riled up. I'm gonna say some stuff, and YouTube's gonna get scared, and then they're gonna give me a strike. Paige Polowog, fly Pence out. They should have Pence go speak to the border crossers. They'll think that they're talking to someone special, but really they're the only people willing to hear him out. What's up, Trig Crazy? Happy Freedom, my favorite bigot. Appreciate you being here. Matthew, all the police are making excuses to excuse themselves from blame. Yeah. Yeah, well, what really sucks is when we see officers speaking out. When they're like, we want to enforce the law, but the chief says we can, or the captain says we can, or the mayor says we can't, or the governor says we can't. We know it's against the law. We want to enforce the law, but the people in charge say we can't. They shouldn't be in charge. We should be able to pull them down. But we don't have the right legislation in there. We got to pass legislation to give the power back to the people. So when these assholes are out here pulling stunts like this, we could just take some signatures and then pull these people out of office, put someone new there, maybe even hold special elections. I think if we had legislation in place so the American people could decide when somebody's not doing their job that we can pull them down, I think we would see an increase in special elections right off the rip. Just all across the board. We would see people get pulled down mid-term and then have somebody new put up during a special election. I don't know if it'd be a good thing, but I know having the opportunity to pull people out of the office when they're not doing their job as they said they would when we elected them, I don't understand why we don't already have that in place. We have all these goofy systems, like we can't impeach the president, we need Congress to do it. But then we can't even impeach Congress ourselves. So what makes us think that they're going to impeach the president when they're all in cahoots of being corrupted together? It just doesn't make any sense. RK, check out the protests on the bridge in London. I think I did see clips about that. I don't know enough about London, though, to understand, like, the vibes. I know when people are closing bridges here for protests and stuff, we have people who sympathize with it. They, I can't remember what they call it, something, solidarity. They're in solidarity with the protest, or they're against the protest, and then you have the people who are just zero tolerance for protesters. Those are the people who drive into the crowds and run them over and all that stuff. Like Summer of Love. We captured that, where it was like protesters in the street, oh no, there's a car coming, mild screaming, phone flipping through the air, more screaming, live stream ending, and then finding out that that protester was struck by a vehicle so hard they were beheaded on the freeway. So I know the vibes here, but when I see stuff in London going on, I'm like, I don't know if they support that or not, because the hooligans I see from London seem to be conservative, but the London I see on TV seems to be very liberal. And of course, you can't trust everything you see on the TV. You can't trust 90% of what you see on the TV. But because I don't live there and I don't know anybody in person from there, it's really hard for me to tell. Are the people for this or are they against it? But I think I did see it where it's just like overwhelming people on the bridge. Let's see. Flipping through really quick before we move on to this Trump stuff going on. We got 40 minutes till the press briefing starts anyways. DCAT, I don't care what's happening in Israel or the blue and yellow country. I'm worried about what's happening here in our country. Me too. I mean, I don't want bad stuff to happen to anybody, anywhere, in any country. But I don't understand bitching and complaining about stuff going on in the Middle East when we bitch and complain about stuff going on here and they don't fix it here. So I don't understand crying about something going on in a foreign country that has nothing to do with us, or not us, the American people, and it's not going to fix anything. It's not going to fix anything. So why do it? Why think that all of us should care? And like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I understand the caring of people who are being hurt. Outside of that, I don't know what the yelling and screaming is about. Bunch of nothing. I know you, Matthew. Yeah, I know you. I'm just saying. It's hard for me to understand the vibes of how everyone in London feels and over there in the UK and all that stuff. We got you, Matthew. Like I said, there's hooligans from over there that are like-minded like the rest of us. But then when I see other portrayals of over there, I can't tell it. They make everything seem like it's all liberals over there. So I never know. I never know. Matthew, globalist communism. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Matthew, you're our lifeline. You're our window into what's going on over there. Prison Hug, you seeing if you could write Israel over on on Odyssey? You can write anything on Odyssey. I've had people come in and write terrible things in the chat. Don't do it. Don't do it, because I don't want the mods to come and ban you and stuff. I just take my word for it. You have the ability to say the most awful things over on Odyssey. I don't want you to, but yeah, Israel is way off the list compared to the things I've seen. Twitch is really weird. They let me show most things, but you can't say woman, or at least you can't in the poll, and apparently you can't say Israel. And you can't say, oh no, you can't say God on Instagram. Garlic Press, London is largely Muslim now. That's how Dearborn is in Michigan. I'm kind of surprised we don't see mass protests going on there, but I don't know. Maybe we are. I don't really know. Neighbor guy, Subaru back in tip-top shape. I don't know. I don't know. When I called Friday, yeah, I think it was Friday. I believe when I called, they said that within the next 30 minutes of that time, that they would have the motor out of the blue car, the broken motor, and that they already had the motor out of the gold car, which is the supposed good motor. And they said to call on Tuesday afternoon after the live, and that maybe the car would be done as far as how that goes. I still need them to go warranty out all the parts that have been destroyed on the gold car and either replace them on the blue car or just put the spare parts in the back of the car for when we do need them. I don't think that's going to be completed yet. And then I still don't know what's going on with the transmission situation because it's throwing up that all-wheel drive light, and they're saying that the rear left tire is binding in turns, like it's spinning faster than the other four tires, and it's supposed to have a symmetrical all-wheel drive system, so obviously that's not supposed to happen. And I don't know what's going on with that. So there could be a chance that I call on Tuesday and they tell me, yeah, we got everything as far as the motor done, but now we need to do the transmission, or now we need to do all the warranty stuff. So I don't really know. I don't know what's going on with the car. I think we're getting close to 30 days. I know that. And I know that's a long time to be without a car. Other than that, I don't really know what's going on with the car. Let me see. It's been 3 weeks. What is the day? The 4th. So we're getting there. Yeah, we're 4 days or something away from it being a month without a car. So, I don't know. I try not to think about it because it stresses me out really bad. I don't know. I'm just waiting for that phone call on Tuesday. That's all I know. Let's see. Garlic Press, I'm curious to see who Trump picks as his running mate for 2024. I am too. I'm really interested in that too. I kind of wish it was the governor from South Dakota, but, you know, she's already got her own job right now. But I think she'd be a good pick. Or Carrie Lake, but I think Carrie Lake already said that she doesn't want to be VP because she's running for governor of Arizona, I think. Or no, she's running for Senate. That's what it is. She's running to be a congresswoman, I believe. Let's see. Mr. Beansy Beans, you wish it was Carrie Lake? Yeah, I think Carrie Lake would be good too. Especially, like, could you imagine Trump and Carrie Lake at a press briefing or something where they're responding and talking to reporters? Because I love hearing Trump talk to reporters because he calls them out. He'll just tell them that they're stupid right to their face. And Carrie Lake is very much like that too because she used to be a reporter. And, I mean, in a lot of ways, she still kind of is. But to have them just rapid fire questions and responses to reporters. I bet that would be just great. I think that would be great. What's up, Mayor? Happy Freedom. Appreciate you being here. What's up, Hydrodynamic? Happy Freedom. Let's see. Bud Lightner, it's your T case, and that's what's used for the all-wheel drive. Yeah, I don't know what's going on exactly. I don't know if it's something that can be fixed or if they need to do the transmission swap and pull the transmission from the gold car and put it on the blue car. I don't know. I won't know until they call me. And at Twitch is liberal and pro-Hamas. Yeah. Yeah, one day we'll be banned on Twitch because they don't give any kind of warnings. I got a strike for Kyle doing what Kyle does best, and I believe the strike is permanent. There is no expiration of strikes. After 3, you're gone. And then I got a copyright strike because I was showing Trump doing the town hall thing because it was aired on TV. So because it was on cable and I showed it on the live, the cable company restricted my stuff. I think it was Warner Brothers or something hit me with a copyright flag on Twitch, and I think that's permanent too. So one day something will happen that I'm not aware that I'm breaking any rules. It will just happen, and I won't be on Twitch anymore, and there'll be nothing I can do about it. But that's why we got Kick, and Kick is just like Twitch, except there's no censorship and it's green. Otherwise, it's just like Twitch. Rappy, that'd be great. Trump Lake, yeah, I think that would be. I mean, as far as entertaining, well, I think it'd be good in general. But as far as entertaining, I think it'd be awesome. It'd be real awesome. Same thing with the governor of South Dakota. She seems like a straight shooter too. I think she sounds like a leader when she talks. Tam Carrie Lake was my news anchor when I lived in Phoenix. That's awesome. I've heard of Carrie Lake, like prior to her going through the trials and stuff after the midterm elections and stuff like that. I've heard of her as a reporter, but I just never really put a face to a name. Space Ghost, don't save the VODs on Twitch either, less likely to get a strike. Yeah, the only time I've got a strike is it's just been an immediate thing. It wasn't like I ended the live and then later on got a strike. It was just like, whoop, live's gone. Like I'll click over to Twitch and I'm logged out. And I don't even know why. And I try to log in, it tells me my password's wrong. And I just try and it never works. And then I contact customer service and they go, oh yeah, no, your account's suspended. That's why you can't log in. You can't log in for 30 days. I'm like, oh, so I can't access anything. I just don't exist on Twitch for 30 days. Can't access my account, can't change my username, can't change my payment method. Nothing. Cannot access Twitch for 30 days. And it just comes without warning or any kind of announcement or anything like that. So yeah, I don't know. I tolerate Twitch. That's what happens. But I appreciate the advice, Space Ghost. RK, Carrie Lake would tear up the fake news. I agree. Prison hug, my car has all-wheel drive, but it doesn't work. It's a one-wheel wonder. I guess there's a way to put Subarus in front-wheel drive, but it's not very good for the car. You can either take a fuse and pull it out, or you put a fuse in. It depends on the year and the model, but it will convert the car into being front-wheel drive. But I guess it's not very good for your transmission. And I didn't want to go out of my way and start doing a bunch of weird, like start messing with it, because it already had other things to be worked on. So I was just like, here, fix my damn car. Like, it's got problems. It's got problems like I do, but these problems can be fixed. Just go ahead and fix the car. It'll be fine. What's up, Jerry? Happy Freedom. Appreciate you being here. Mayor Lake will do better in Congress. I think she would be good for Congress. I think she'd be a good addition to Congress. For sure. All right. Cheryl, thinking Giuliani for VP? No, I don't think so. If we were talking 2020 Giuliani, then yeah, that would be a firestorm for anyone to deal with, like as far as opposition for the Orange Eagle. But the Giuliani we have today, I want to say he just took a plea deal in the Georgia case with 2020 election stuff. I'm pretty sure Giuliani just took a plea deal. And a lot of those people are getting immunity to testify against Trump, where nothing bad will happen to them, no matter how far they draw that story out. No matter how much they exaggerate their stories, they will not be held accountable. So it's an opportunity for them not only to get out of being in trouble, but it's an opportunity to throw Trump under the bus as far as they can, and they're most likely being paid and influenced to do so. Hey, we're going to trump these charges up against you, but you ain't got Trump money. You're not going to be able to fight these like Trump is. So you can either eat shit and go down for him, or you can throw him under the bus, and we'll keep you out of trouble. And the farther you throw him under the bus, the more incentive we'll give you. So you want to go to prison, or you want to be rewarded for throwing Trump under the bus? And just tell everyone you were saving your ass, because everyone can understand saving their own bacon. And that's what I think is happening to these Trump associates that are rolling over and taking these plea deals. And I'm pretty sure Giuliani took a plea deal. I don't know that he's granted immunity. I don't know that they're asking him to testify against Trump. I don't know why they wouldn't ask him to testify against Trump. But I don't think he's the Giuliani we know from 2020. So I personally don't want to see Giuliani as VP. Not if he's rolling over on Trump and stuff. But I think Kari Lake would be a good choice. Obviously, she's going to Congress. And I think the governor of South Dakota would be a good one also. All right. Zero. I think there's some other plans for these deal takers. They got something cooking. They got something cooking, obviously. It's very obvious. You know, they're throwing everything against the wall, hoping something sticks. And the more people they get under their belt, especially if they're previous Trump supporters, the better it all looks on TV before the stupid and soft people of the world who watch this nonsense and go, even Trump's people are rolling over on him. He must be a bad person, is what those stupid people will say, unaware that the news is manipulating them. So we're going to move forward to these Trump videos. This next one is titled, Donald Trump Gag Order Reinstated by Federal Judge. Like I said, I didn't even know that it was lifted, but it must have been brief. And then this woman is Australian or something, because this is Sky News Australia. So bear with that accent. I have no idea what she says in the beginning of this video. I played it like 13 times trying to figure out what she's saying. I know they chew on their syllables, like when they say water and stuff like that. I don't know what she says in the beginning of this video, so don't ask me. I have no idea. But here's a little info about the gag order.
A federal judge has reinstated a gag order imposed on Donald Trump in the Washington case, which accused him of trying to overturn the 2020 election defeat. The order was originally lifted on October 20th after his lawyers appealed. The order prohibits the 77-year-old from targeting the special counsel prosecuting his case or witnesses called to testify. A copy of the judge's order was not immediately available.
Well, it's a very brief video. I didn't even know they lifted the gag order. I knew that they were pushing for it. So they lifted it and then they turned around and gave it right back. And they didn't even say why. Normally there's some incidents that happen to bring it back. Otherwise it makes the judge look stupid, really. The judge decided, yeah, we'll grant you your appeal. We're going to lift your gag order. And then turn around and give it right back. Sounds like the judge doesn't know what he's doing. Sounds like the judge is lacking experience as being a judge. Sounds like he's playing games and he ain't worried about justice. That's what it sounds like. That's what it looks like, which is why a lot of times when judges make decisions, they want to make decisions that are going to last. It affects how they're perceived by the public and the rest of the court system. So for this judge to lift the gag order for a day or two, because it has to be something small like that. It's got to be just a day or two that it was without, because we cover it like every day and we were waiting for the appeal to go through to see if they would lift the gag order. I'm gone for a day and now all of a sudden the gag order was lifted and brought back. Like, okay. Like, you guys are just shitting on Trump. That's all that's happening. And as much as the soft and stupid people of the world see this and they celebrate, oh, ha, 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 they're going to be the first ones to cry the loudest when it happens to us. If they do it to him, they will do it to us. We are not at presidential status. Like, we're not up there. We ain't got big bucks. We don't have big Trump dollars. If they do it to him, they will do it to us. And so it should be infuriating to everybody to watch this happen. they're silencing him. And of course they're trying to say it's a public safety issue, that he attacks the judge verbally, attacks witnesses on the stand, blah, 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 blah. Talks about the case to the public. The public gets upset for these people who are going after Trump. Maybe they will do something to these people of the courthouse. So I understand that they're trying to portray this as public health crisis or whatever to the people involved with the case. But it's all publicity. That's all it is. It's just publicity. Trump never says, oh, go get these people. He just goes out there and goes, these people are corrupt, and here's why, and then lists why they're corrupt. He's airing their dirty laundry, and they don't like it. And that's the whole real reason for the gag order. It's not that their safety's in question. It's the fact that they don't like their dirty laundry being aired out on the internet. And so they're putting gag orders on him. They will do it to him. They will do it to us. It's no good. We're going to read through the chat really quick before moving forward. The next video is them turning Trump's kids against him. They're going to have him testify in court against him. And they're saying that traditionally this wouldn't go this way, but because this case isn't a criminal case, it's like a civil lawsuit or whatever, that they are not reprimanding them. I think they're indicting him. They're indicting his kids to come testify against him against their will. So I don't know what they think they're going to benefit from that. If I was them, I would just not know anything. Every single question, I don't know. I have no recollection. Every single one. I'd be the most useless witness they ever indicted in their whole life. There's no way. You couldn't like, no. They have a Trump empire. It's not going to work. I don't know. It's more publicity. It really is. Anyways, we're going to read through. And that the gag order is unconstitutional. There is a time and a place for gag orders, and the gag order is supposed to be a temporary thing, which is how they try to get around the whole freedom of speech thing. Is they're saying, well, you're not permanently having your speech taken away. Anything you want to say now, you can go ahead and post it, but don't publish it to the public until after the case is over. Once the case is over, then you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. So they try to do that. It's the same thing as what they do to the jury, right? Jurors come in and they say, you guys are the jury. Do not talk about the case outside of this courtroom until it is over. If you do, it will screw everything up. Well, you could say the same thing. You could say that's an infringement on their freedom of speech. They should be able to go talk about the trial to whoever, whenever, and however they want to, according to their freedom of speech. But if they do, it's going to cause a mistrial for the case, and they could be held accountable and all this other stuff. So it's a very similar thing. I don't think there should be limitations on speech, but it is already a pre-established thing. Trump's not the first one to get a gag order. I think them playing games with his gag order is an infringement on his freedom of speech. I think there should be some legitimacy to the gag order, not just willy-nilly, you're gagged on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but then on Tuesday and Thursday, you can go ahead and say whatever you want. That screwing around is an infringement on freedom of speech right there. I think that itself is, but that's just my opinion. What's up, Sam? Happy freedom. Appreciate you joining us. Let's see. Just reading through the chat really quick. Dancer in the Storm. Trump's children are in on this to get money promised or safety from deep state. Why does no one talk about the death of Ivana? Do you really think that she fell down the stairs? I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that. And I don't know. They have a lot to inherit. A lot. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I haven't heard anything about Trump's kids being Hillary supporters or anything like that, because that's kind of what that sounds like. I don't think that Don Jr. shows up to all these rallies on his own when Trump isn't, and he's doing it to support his father. He has been open about that, and he was even censored to the debate, the last debate that happened. He went there to support his dad and to be a Trump appearance at the debate where all the other losers were, where everybody's fighting for second place, and he was told that he wasn't allowed to speak because that he was inappropriate being there in the first place. So you can't tell me that that guy is a government sympathizer and that he's going to testify against Trump because he's actually bribed by the deep state. Why show up at the debate at all? Why not join the debate? Be a part of the debate. Run against his dad and then win because the government's backing him, right? Wouldn't that make sense if he was real deep state? He would run against his dad and win, and then the liberals would love that. They would say, oh, even Trump's kids don't like him. I mean, that sounds like blue team all day. How come that's not happening? Probably because it's not true that his kids are deep state. We'll see, though. We'll see. We won't know until, the truth comes out, but I think it's a stretch. I think it's reaching to think that his kids are employed by deep state. And as far as Vanna and all that funeral stuff, I don't know. I wasn't there. Were you? Let's see. Sure, crazy. Trump is a clone now. I've been waiting for that. I've been waiting for Trump clone talk. I don't think that Trump's a clone at this point. I think that when we see him start to do things that is shocking, just shocking to your core, just seeing him do things that Trump would never do, that's when you got to question the legitimacy of his existence. But at this point, I think it's the same old Trump that, we've been looking at for years. DCAT, have you seen Police State on Rumble? It was released on Rumble. I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen lots of advertisement. I keep Rumble notifications on just in case they decide to shout us out one day. I want to just blow that up to the world so everybody can see that we're official on Rumble. I'm just waiting. One day. Let's see. Trigger Crazy. He's Trigger Crazy. He knows how to get them feds to come out. They'll come stick their head out of the hole real quick. It's awesome. It's awesome. Let's read through really quick. We're going to be moving forward. Thank you so much, Willie Fix It, for donating a lemon over on D Live. I appreciate the support. Thank you. You're awesome, Willie Fix It. Flipping through the chat. What is going on Twitch? I don't know what you guys are talking about. Whatever your name is, NJ, you straighten up, I'll let you stay. Otherwise, you're catching this ban hammer, and you can say whatever you want to. You ain't gonna be the first troll to tell me I'm silencing free speech, because I won't let you shit on my hooligans. I'll have you eat shit in front of everybody. Don't act like I won't. You ain't been here long enough. We will celebrate your demise. We will. There will be joy and music and semen everywhere. Don't you push me, you bastard. I don't care that you're on Twitch or not. I don't care. Sam, you're omnipresent. I appreciate you. Let's see. Combat Vet, no deals. That's right. I don't know. I said this before. The whole deal with Trumpers going to court and stuff. If you were out there in 2020 and you were talking that stuff that Trump is talking, you should have believed in it wholeheartedly, or you shouldn't have been saying that stuff. And now that these people are being pulled into court and said, hey, you were out there with Trump in 2020 saying all this stuff about the election, we're going to prosecute you for it, which is nonsense. And we're going to hold you accountable. If they really felt that way in 2020, they should have been like, okay. Not, oh no, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to say that back for the last 3 years. Nah, it was just nonsense. It was for entertainment. And they're like, well, we'll give you a plea deal. And they're like, yeah, give me a plea deal. And it shouldn't be like that. If you think you're doing the right thing and you're standing up for what you believe is right, when it's time to go to court, it's time to be a martyr. It's time to be like, yep, that was me. That was me. I believe in it, and I'm standing up for what I believe in, and whatever happens, happens. And seeing these people fold like wet tissue paper is disheartening. But It's also a version of corruption too. If these people are willing to fold for plea deals and they're folding for backdoor deals and lobbying and things like that, here's some big bucks, push what I want you to push, and they go, okay. So it's, you know, in a way it's disheartening to see Trump associates folding like that and taking plea deals, but at the same time we can see who's corrupt now. We can see who's, you know, easily influenced and whatnot, things like that. Let's see, just reading through really quick. The press briefing just kicked over. They might be on time today. RK just got the White House notification. Should be coming up soon. Yep. I have it pulled up here, so I just watched it kick over really quick. We're going to be moving forward in just a second. The troll over on Twitch is cracking me up. Sean, bash a troll day. Every day is. All right, hooligans, we're going to move forward. This next one is Donald Trump's eldest 3 children testify in fraud trial. This video is a bit longer than the rest of them, but I think it's interesting that they're trying to use his kids against him. What a dirty thing to do. And I don't know how involved his kids are in his business. I think I remember them taking over a lot of the businesses because Trump couldn't have them in his name if he was going to be president. So he had to forfeit all his wealth and everything in order to be president, in order to take a job that pays less and ultimately demonizes him. So I don't know how involved they are with his business and all this, but they're indicting them, forcing them to testify against him. Let's get it started.
Napolitano. Judge, great to have you on this morning. So the Trump children, Ivanka, Eric, Don Jr., all going to testify this week. Take us through what this means for the case, and do you expect Trump to be in the courtroom to watch his kids testify?
I do think that Trump will be in the courtroom to watch his children testify. Just knowing him, I think he'll want to give them the emotional support. What's interesting, Rob, is that they're not testifying as witnesses for the Trump organization. They are being called against their will as witnesses for the government. It's very, very unusual and somewhat risky for the government to call the defendants as its own witnesses. But because this is not a criminal case, there is no right not to testify. And thus the government can call them. So the government is basically going to say, did you sign this document? Did you order this to be done? Did you approve of this number? Ivanka Trump, who was a defendant in the case, but who was removed as a defendant in the case when an appeals court overturned Justice Engoron, and ruled that whatever she did, if anything, was outside the statute of limitations. She appealed to the appellate division to block the government from calling her, and she lost that appeal. So there could be a lot of fireworks, is the bottom line.
Yeah, over the next 2 weeks. And if you're Trump's defense team, Donald Trump wants to testify on his behalf in his own defense. That's a defendant's right. How do you control him on the stand? It'll go well seemingly when he's, questioned by his own team. But the prosecution, they can go any way they want once they've got him on the stand. This will be, historic on so many levels when Donald Trump takes the stand.
So when he takes the witness stand, because he is a party in the case, they can ask him about anything. If a witness comes to the witness stand and says, I saw the automobile accident, cross-examination, they can only ask the witness about the automobile accident. But when a party in the litigation, a person being sued, takes the witness stand, the other side can ask them anything that would affect their credibility. This is very, very dangerous for him because the prosecutors here, the government lawyer, they're not actually prosecutors, it's a civil case, pardon me. The government lawyers here can ask him about Mar-a-Lago and classified documents.
Right.
They can ask him about January 6th. They can ask him about the Georgia case. They can ask him if he really won the election. They can ask him if his lawyers told him if he won the election. So it's very dangerous and risky for him. How do you control him? You go through a lot of preparation, which, if you know him, is difficult to do.
Yes, absolutely. And Michael Cohen testifying last week, did that hurt Donald Trump in the way the prosecution hoped it would?
Not as much as they hoped it would, because Michael Cohen has a lot of baggage, and the former president's lawyers did a good job of bringing the baggage out. What was the baggage? Prior inconsistent statements, saying things to the press and saying things in his examination before trial, which we call a deposition, which were different from what he said in the courtroom. That resonates very negatively with a jury.
Right.
When you have a judge who's also the jury, it doesn't hurt as much, but it does hurt a little bit.
All right, Judge, I want you to take off the judge cap and put on sort of the political analyst cap, if you would, or gown, by the way. But I'm just wondering here, let's say that Trump is the Republican nominee. Mike Pence dropped out of the race over the weekend. Let's say Trump's convicted in one of these cases before Election Day. We know he's going to appeal, which will drag this thing out even longer. Could this actually all end up helping Trump when people actually go to vote? Because people will vote for Trump as a sort of a referendum on the corruption in our justice system.
You know, it depends on what you think of the government. It is helping him enormously with Republicans who lately have been skeptical of government generally and very skeptical of government when it's run by the Democrats. I don't know that it will hurt him as much with Democrats or with independents, but help him with Democrats or with independents. But with Republicans, it'll help him enormously. Every time he was indicted, his poll numbers went up.
Yeah.
Among Republicans, not amongst Democrats and independents, who are probably secretly hoping that somehow he suffers enough defeats in the courtroom that they won't see his name on the ballot.
Right. There are some, though. And again, this is assuming Trump's the nominee. Looks like he's going to be. That could change. We got about a year till Election Day. But I remember 2016, and it feels like this didn't happen as much in 2020. But it feels like we're back there in 2024. If Trump's the nominee, a lot of people would say publicly with friends in polite company, they would say, oh, well, I'm not going to vote for Donald Trump. But then when you close the curtain, you can pull whatever lever you want. And a lot of people turned out being silent Trump voters. You think we can see that again?
Yes, I do. It's not as unfashionable today to say I'm going to vote for him as it was in 2016, because he's already been president. He did some things that were wonderful for the country while he was president. But I do think, particularly in where we live in the Northeast, there is still some sense of it's unfashionable to say in polite company you're going to vote for him, but that's why we vote in secret. That's why we vote in private.
Yeah. Judge, great having you back on. Good to see you on this Monday morning, setting it all up for us. We'll keep an eye on how this plays out. It's going to be really interesting to see the Trump children on the witness stand. Grown adults.
Expect fireworks.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Judge,
Well, we'll see how it goes. I don't think Trump's kids are going to play ball. I think they're just going to say a whole bunch of, I don't know what you're talking about. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. I try to think of like what the big picture is here, but it's really difficult when they got so many cases moving around and all of that. It's hard to tell like what their intentions are. Obviously up front, the intentions are to get his kids to say bad stuff about him. That would be great for the press in demonizing President Trump. But what's the big picture here? How is this going to affect other cases and things like that? So I don't know. Just keeping an open mind here, just gathering information. Zero, I can't recall. Yeah, I mean, you would think that's what they're going to do. They're going to get up there and they don't know. I don't know. What did Trump do with his paperwork? I don't know. What did he do with his money? I don't know. How did he make these purchases? I don't know. I'd be like, he's a grown man. He just went out there and did it. I don't know. He didn't ask me. He didn't ask me to hold his hand. He just shit me out one day, okay? I am a descendant. Other than that, I don't know. I'm telling you, I'd be the most useless witness ever. It's just, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But they're going to try. They're going to try, and they're still going to act just like the insurrection, just like the impeachment trials. They're going to say, oh, Trump's kids even testified against him. Even if they all go up there and say they don't know, the news will still say, even his kids testified against him because he's such a bad person. That's what they're going to say. It's going to be the impeachment all over again. It's going to be insurrections all over again. Watch it. Watch it happen. Because they're just about labels. Labels and altering definitions. That's all they do. Screaming out headlines. What's up, Tree Herder? Happy freedom. Appreciate you being here. Let's see. Just reading through really quick. KJP is supposed to be on stage in 3 minutes, and we still got one more video. I think we're going to be able to make it all work, though. Saw Trigger Crazy say something funny. I'm trying to find it. Oh, watch. I'm not going to be able to find it now. We had... I don't know if somebody was trolling or what. That person that was saying that Trump's kids work for the deep state and whatever, this dancer person, they decided to start posting links in the chat. And, well, if you've been here for any amount of time, you know that you can't do that. You can't do that. So he caught that band hammer to the face. I mean, it was graphic, but, you know, on Rumble, you don't have to worry about censorship and stuff like that. So everybody got to watch the graphic scene happen. But then Trigger Crazy made an announcement that dancer, he got hit with the gag order. He's not able to talk like that anymore. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I appreciate you, Trigger Crazy. You cracked me up. Let's see. Flip it through the chat really quick before we move forward to this last video, and then we'll be moving on to the press briefing. It's all working out. It's all coming together now. What's up, Kirk Allen? Happy freedom. Thank you for joining us. Truth is light. How can New York 6th District Court throw out the case on Trump? Jack Smith can keep going. I don't know. New York is corrupt as shit. Let's see. Combat vet plead the fifth. They could. They could. Trump's kids could get up there and remain silent. They could do that. A lot of times if you plead the fifth, though, then they give you no contest. A lot of times they'll act like it's no contest. And anybody that's ever been on criminal court on the receiving end of it, pleading no contest means that you're not agreeing or denying with anything being said. You're just in line with it, is how they write you down on paper. You're just saying whatever's whatever, and whatever happens to me is whatever. And a lot of times it's a part of a plea deal. They could try and act like that. I mean, this isn't a criminal case, so they're not going to give them no contest. But they could still play it that way on paper and say, well, the kids didn't say yes or no. They just said whatever's whatever. And that's all. A lot of times they paint it up like a partial agreement to the accusations. Obviously, it's your constitutional right to plead the fifth, and they could. But I think going up there and saying that they don't recall and things like that is saying that there's no acknowledgement of wrongdoing, but they don't know exactly the details. And I feel like maybe that's better than just pleading the fifth, but you're absolutely right, combat vet. They could just go up there and say that, I plead the fifth, and they're off the stand just like that. I mean, they might try and push a little bit, but usually if somebody pleads the fifth, you're done. You can go step down now. That's usually how it goes. Let's see. Champs, you need to warn us moments before the ban hammer so we can look away. On YouTube, yeah. I don't know. I don't monitor the chat on YouTube very much because I've been demonetized, so I just want everybody to leave YouTube. But if something crazy is going on, I'll make sure to give you guys a heads up before I throw this hammer across the room. What's up, Mr. Average? Happy freedom. Appreciate you being here. What's up, Malvita? Happy freedom. What's up, JoJo? Appreciate all of you hooligans. William, Trump can't be imitated. Yeah, if they did a Trump clone, it would be terrible. It would be the stereotype that Blue Team plays of Trump. All right, hooligans. I think we'll be able to play this last video before Shithead walks on stage. Jeez, Annette. Dang, it's cold outside. My high beams are on. You crack me up. I'm telling you guys need to join the website. It is uncensored over there. You may not see some high beams, but man, the conversation is colorful. I love that. Miss Jamie just made some hot chocolate. I put hot chocolate in my coffee. Spice it up a little bit. Well, we're going to try and pull this off. KJP is 2 minutes late. Of course, she'll probably walk out while we're in the middle of this video because that's the way my luck works. But that's okay. We're going to risk it anyways. This next video is titled U.S. Military Begins Japan Seafood Purchases. This is a really weird thing. It talks about some nuclear plant and the water being released into the ocean, and now they're selling fish. It's really weird, and they don't actually talk about it. It's words on the screen. And then they eventually have someone narrating what's going on. But read those words on the screen, because it's a really weird thing that's being spelled out there, in my opinion. This whole thing is really weird. But it's only a minute long, so we'll be covering this, and then we're moving right into the press briefing is the plan. All right, let's get it started.
Will be in this area as scallops, but it will then broaden to all types of fish, be sold in all the commissaries across the United States bases, 17 of them. It will be served and stored on our ships for the sailors when they go out, and it will also be available on farmers market. So it starts with scallops, but works through all the fish products. None of us are under the illusion that the armed forces replaces the Chinese market. But especially while China is embargoing and restricting all fish from Japan except for the ones that they fish in the Japanese waters, which they continue to do even though it's quote-unquote a public health risk, that we are going to use the capabilities of the armed forces of the United States here to start to purchase fish harvested by Japanese fishermen and the communities and the co-ops. Do I think this is the answer, full stop? No. China will continue its economic coercion, but the best way we have proven in all the instances to kind of wear out China's economic coercion is come to the aid and assistance of the targeted country or industry. So this is one step.
So there's something weird about all of that. They act like they're going to be benefiting financially one way or another, but like I said, they don't really talk about what those words are in the beginning of the video where they're like, yeah, you know, like Fukushima, some nuclear stuff going on. We're just letting that go. You know, we're just dispersing that. By the way, we're going to be getting deals on fish. And like, what? What? You're going to be feeding it to our military because you're going to get a deal on it? That sounds weird. All that sounds weird. I don't know. It's just... that story is really weird. I feel like it is missing some vital details in there. It just is really weird. And so I just thought I would throw that up there. KJP's not out on stage yet. We're going to read through the chat and talk about what's going on before she comes staggering out. You can go ahead and cast your vote on what you think she's going to be wearing today. I imagine she'll be wearing purple. I don't know. I'm going with purple today. We're going to read through the chat really quick, and then we're just waiting for KJP. And you'll glow in the dark after eating that fish. I think so too. I think it's so they can hide the feds. That way you can't tell when you got glowies amongst you because everybody's glowing in the dark. I don't know. And I don't eat fish, so like I'm good. I'm good on all that, especially if it's a radioactive fish, but there's something. I don't know. There's something. Let's see. I'm going to read through the chat really quick, and we're just waiting for KJP. Dawn, you think she's going to have orange on for Halloween? She might. She might. Matthew, you think she's going with blue? You can't guess all these different colors, Matthew. Are you going with blue or black or both? Blue and black, maybe. Let's see. Snooks, you said it, and you said she was going to wear purple and gilded. I don't know. I'm feeling purple today. I'm thinking she's going to have purple on. Let's see. It's reading through. Shirt Crazy and Tree Herder at the same time talking about the Simpsons having a third-eyed fish. Oh, yeah, it's coming true, isn't it? That's how it goes. They call it. Well, they just expose little tips of the the agenda there on the Simpsons. Both. Both. Let's see. RK Japan has been releasing that foul water for a while now. They must think that they're diluting it or something. Wouldn't you think that that would be not crimes against humanity, but some big problem like that? I don't know. If we just started polluting the ocean, there wouldn't be any consequence. I mean, I know that we do, but they justify it in their own ways. But if they were to just simply pollute the ocean, like just outright, wouldn't you think somebody would come say something? Maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to say. Tree herder, you're going with pink? Something like that. DCAT, Old Man Walter just did a presser on AI. Interesting. I didn't realize that that's what was going on today. I knew there was some lives going on. I didn't know it was that, though. Remarks on artificial intelligence. Highlights the administration's commitment to advancing the safe, secure, and trustworthy development and use of artificial intelligence. Interesting. Well, maybe we'll be talking about that tomorrow. I'm sure they'll cut highlights out. And we'll see how it goes. They actually have a lot of lives today. Hyena Harris is supposed to be doing something with the Advisory Council on African diasporia. I don't know. Words, and then engagement. Why is she always in Africa? What is going on in Africa? She wants to stay there. That's on her. They can keep her. Then there's a Hollow Read spooky story time. I don't know if that means that Jill Handler is going to be reading stories, or if they're going to have a bunch of dudes up there looking all flamboyant, reading stories to little children. That's probably what's going to happen. I don't know if you guys seen the White House for the 4th of July, but it's probably what's going to happen. And then at 5:30, Old Man Walter and the First Lady host Halloween at the White House. I don't know if we're covering any of that. As far as I know, we are not covering that nonsense, but my goodness, they're busy today. Matt, you're going with CCP Red? She could be coming. That was my first choice. I was like, I bet KJP's coming out in red, but I think she's worn a lot of red lately, so I'm wondering if it's going to be purple. Hey, I appreciate you stopping in, Sam. No worries. Let's see. Annette, you're going with pink? I'd rather eat catfish out of the Mississippi River than fish from Japan. Yeah. I don't want to eat glowing fish. I didn't like fish prior to having 13 fins and all that kind of weird stuff going on. Fish come out of the water barking at you. Like, I don't know. Trick Crazy, my bet is drag. Yeah, I'm thinking so too. Zero, you're going with navy blue today? Could be. Matthew, imagine if she had a red star on. They would make up an excuse. They would make up an excuse. They'd say, nah, that's not CCP. She's not a communist. That's her flamboyant star. And if you don't like red and gold stars, then you're anti-LGBTXYZ plus. I think that's the new iPhone. I can't remember. Anyways, that's what they would say. They'd say you're a bigot. If you don't like the CCP, you're a bigot. They're so stupid with their labels. See, that's the thing. You make these punches in the face great again. You don't need labels when you got hands. I'm saying. See, we're gonna have a whole campaign thing. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Let's see. You don't need labels when you could catch these hands. It's a true story. What I think is interesting is how much Halloween stuff is not happening this year because of religious reasons. I think that is so interesting. It's not like things have really changed as far as Halloween and stuff like that. But to see so many people pull out of Halloween because of religious stuff going on to the point where these events are getting shut down, this is happening local to me. There's a lot of events that aren't happening this year because people who are religious or becoming more religious just don't want to participate in it. That's how you know that times are getting hard, where people are actually putting God above holidays and stuff. And I know a lot of people have realized that over the years. They're well aware most of our holidays are pagan holidays like Ishtar and things like that, so they already don't participate. But to just see so many people wake up to it and say, today I love God more than the holiday, that we're not going to trick or treat because we love God so much. And it's interesting because when I was younger I used to think it was foolish. I'm like, why not have fun because of God? But times are so hard right now that God or people are not putting fun above God anymore. They're just like, no, if we're in such need of help in saving in the love of God that we can't cut corners anymore. Like, we need things to turn around. Things suck right now, and we need it to turn around so bad that we're not even trick-or-treating. I'm like, that's something. That, like, really tells me what the times are right now. And I don't know. It's people feel their own kind of way about it, but I just think it's interesting to see it impact so many events around me. And I'm sure this is happening nationwide, but just to see it happen around me is pretty interesting. Let's see. Normal times, Devil's Night in Detroit. Ugh, I don't want to think what that's like. It's just like in Chicago. Like, I don't know. And they're gonna post the shootings and stuff. I know there was a mass shooting that happened in Florida. It wasn't a mass shooting. There was a shooting in public. I don't know how to say it. There's 2 people shot and 18 people injured in a shooting that happened in Tampa in Florida over the weekend. People seem to be really surprised by that, but it happens every year. Like, Halloween weekend having shootings is kind of a normal thing. Maybe not in Tampa. Maybe not there. But, like, tomorrow or the next day when you hear Chicago's shooting numbers come out, don't act all surprised, because it happens every year. Like, every year is like that. These people go to Halloween parties more than any other weekend, right? You got more parties available. It's a festive thing. Go to a party, wear a costume, get drunk, bang a hooker, whatever. But that's where the problems happen. Bars, parties, nightclubs, places where there's drunk, stupid people. Halloween is all about being drunk and stupid at the same time. So, and you're wearing a costume, so it's festive. So don't be surprised when you hear these big numbers over the weekend. This is a yearly thing. This is just traditional at this point. 2 Storms, you're thinking a CCP pink army dress. She might. What if she came out in a costume? Since they're doing all the Halloween stuff, she comes out looking like a Chucky doll. I mean, that wouldn't really be much different, would it? 0 guns, fires, fights every year. Yeah, it's true. I think it's also the face covering, right? Their faces are covered. They're wearing Halloween outfits. You have that feeling like maybe I can get away with it. I've been drinking too much. I'm starting to have bad ideas. Maybe I can get away with it. Maybe they won't know who it is when Ronald McDonald holds the gas station up, at gunpoint. Maybe they won't know that it's me. And then they go out there and do that stupid stuff. So, I don't know. Matthew, money spinning scam. Yeah, most of our holidays are. That's why we have holidays. That's why there's always sales on holidays. It's all a capitalist kind of thing. So, it's this holiday. Get 20% off when you buy this shit that you don't actually need in your life. That's how it goes. It's just part of the song and dance. Well, just so you hooligans know, I'm not depriving you of your KJP. She just simply isn't on stage yet. Any moment now. Ms. Vu, I quit celebrating Halloween and just candy after when it's all on sale. Yeah. It's tough when you got kids because they go to school and all their friends are trick-or-treating and doing Halloween stuff. Christmas, same thing. Christmas is a pagan holiday, and a lot of people have woken up to that, so they don't celebrate Christmas. But then how do you tell your kids they don't get presents on Christmas? Like, they don't care about religion. If they're young enough, they're still considered innocent, according to the Bible. So what do they understand about not receiving presents? That hurts, that hurts them. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one. That's why I don't really have any advice on what to do or not to do. It's up to you and your religion and your relationship with God, or your lack of relationship with God. However, it is. You're living your own life. We're all on our own path. but I know that it hurts kids and it really sucks. I used to work at this restaurant, and we did special things on Christmas, and I was going through a really, really hard time, and I don't have family and stuff really. So I was working, and I was cooking food. I was a breakfast cook at the time. I was cooking food for people coming in, and we try and be festive and stuff, because a lot of people who come in to eat on Christmas don't have anyone. That's why they're there. They don't have a dinner to go to. They don't have family to go hang out with and stuff. And so just trying to be festive, Santa comes, and kids can sit on his lap and all that stuff. And it was trying to be a nice thing. The restaurant's kind of a shithole, but trying to do something nice for Christmas. And so we were like making food and all that. And there was this family that came in that lived locally to where that restaurant is, and they were making a huge deal about how they don't celebrate Christmas and they don't believe in Santa and all this stuff, and their kids wanted to go sit on Santa's lap. And it ended up becoming like this big like fist fight thing. Like dad was coming to knock Santa out because Santa was just sitting there being Santa. The kids are like, I want to go sit on Santa's lap, tell him what I want for Christmas. Dad's like, no, you little bastard, you ain't getting shit for Christmas because we don't celebrate that. And people were trying to figure out, is it because you live in a trailer and you don't have money that you want to tell your kids that you don't believe in Santa so you don't have to buy them presents? Or is this actually a religious thing? And if it is, how come you didn't pass that on to your kids so your kids understand why you're not celebrating Christmas? And it ended up being this huge falling out where I had to come out of the kitchen and threaten to whoop someone's ass in front of Santa and everybody. Because that's what the trash does around here in West Michigan. They cause problems on Christmas right there in front of Santa. So I don't know. All I saw was kids crying and not understanding why they didn't get to go sit on Santa's lap when all the rest of the kids were. And so I understand both sides of the fence, and it is a challenge. The country we live in celebrates it. Your kids go to public school. It's a rough one. It's a rough one. The other hard part is to do that and then try to get the best of both worlds. I've seen that too, where people say, well, I celebrate Christmas because it was taught to me as Jesus' birthday. It wasn't until as an adult that I found out that it was a pagan holiday, but I still celebrate Christmas because I love Jesus, even though it doesn't mean what it means. Try to do the best of both worlds. But the problem is that you're still doing the act that is supposedly against God, and now you're doing that act in God's name. And that's what makes it worse than just being ignorant to it. So I don't know. It's a deep, tough one right there. And that's what she said. But yeah, I understand all sides of that when it comes to holidays. Let's see. And 2 ghouls in the White House celebrating Halloween. I know. This is Congress and all them. I don't know. It's not good. It's not good. Maybe they'll show their true faces. We'll just think they're in costume. And I haven't celebrated Halloween events for some time now, probably 5 years or so. I don't either. Not really. I mean, I will go to small get-togethers, but I won't go to the bar. I won't go to public events. I don't do any of that stuff. Last thing I want to do is be shot in the face at a Halloween event in public. We're at an event that I didn't even really want to go to. So I don't go. And people love to fight with me, and I don't know why. They see me, and they just think they have to come and bump chests and ask me what I'm looking at and why I'm looking at them, and who do I think I am walking in here with my chest all out and people, I don't know why they want to target me, and then they get their ass kicked in front of their friends and they're all broken. The EMTs are on their way and everybody's mad at me because I had to break this guy's face, and I hate that. I hate it to death. I hate it so much. There's something wrong in my head and I don't understand when to call it quits. You think you're going to come fight with me, I'm going to do something really bad to you because I don't know when it's time to be done. All I know is you put my life in danger, and now I need to wear you out in front of everybody. And then everybody gets offended. And I'm like, I didn't want it. I came here to drink $2 beer, not beat this guy's ass. Like, jeez, but it happens so much. I can't go. I can't even be in public because everybody else is such a dumbass. Got to ruin it for everybody. It's terrible. It's terrible. I hate when that stuff happens so much. Let's see. It looks like a vacuum cleaner is going to be on with KJP. Yeah. Yep. Captain Hot Dog Fingers is supposed to assist her. And I don't know why. She should be fired. They should just make Captain Hot Dog Fingers Kirby. They should just make him the press briefer. the secretary, because he comes out and does the most talking. A lot of times she comes out, she says hi, everybody shits their pants in hello back, and then she wanders off stage, and he sits there and talks, and all she does is point on the reporters. Yeah, we got a pre-screening question from this guy. Let's call on him next. And that's all they do. It's so stupid. She should be fired for not doing her job. He does her job and his job together, which is a whole bunch of nothing. So, 'tis what 'tis. Matthew.
Come on, man.
I know, they need to hurry up. They got 8 minutes. I don't even want to wait that long, but they got about 8 minutes. They don't show up in 8 minutes. We might not do this. We might just call it quits. Matthew, can you burn wood in a trailer? I mean, if you set the trailer on fire. I don't know regulations and stuff like that. Serum, I just make up random shit to get my kids upset. That's a dad's job. The wife already blames you for everything. The least you could do is get your kids crying and shit. You gotta just tell them, hey, I'm the dad around here. That's how it goes. It's a dad's job. There's nothing wrong with it. Get the kids all riled up. It's not any different than waking up on Saturday and being like, hey, y'all ready for school? And they're like, what? I'm not going to school today. Yeah, you are. You better get your shit together and get in the car. Kids are in the car crying and stuff. Dad's making us go to school on Saturday. And then you take them out to breakfast. And then they're mad, but then they're eating the pancakes with strawberries and stuff. And they got tears in their eyes, but they're happy to be here. It's a dad's job. It's a dad's job. Let's see. Pumpkin, do we really need a reason to celebrate a holiday? No. I think a lot of stuff like that should be restructured. I think we need modernization, not progressive stuff, but just some sort of modernization on some of these traditions that we have. Like, I seen an advertisement for a movie, and they were like, this is the blockbuster of the year. And I'm like, blockbuster? Does that really have the same effect that it did in the 90s? A movie came out in the 90s, you had to be the first one to go get it. Had to be the first one to go see it, so you could tell all your friends before anyone else, oh, let me tell you this great movie we went and seen, and this is what it was, and da-da-da, and why you should go see it, and all this stuff. You had to go to Family Video or Blockbuster and rent the damn movie, or you had to pay all this money to go see the movie in theaters and make it a huge experience for the family. It's not like that now. Now you can sit on your ass, pay $3 on this thing, watch the movie right there. And by the time you've seen it, so had 300,000 other people. And it ain't even special. So is it really blockbusting? Is it really? Not anymore, I don't think it is. I think it's about as exciting as when companies change the print on toilet paper. It's just not blockbusting anymore. We need some modernization. We need to stop trying to recycle old shit and create something new. We're stuck in this rut of recycling things. That's why TV and movies suck right now. Let's see. Matthew, Carry On Camping. It's a very funny film. I have to check it out. I've been needing some humor in my life. Just reading through the chat, waiting on KJP to come up out here. Gonzo, it's ball busting. I mean, I think that'd be more effective than saying blockbusting. I don't know last time I've seen a blockbusting film. Two Storms, KJP blinks in Morse code when speaking. She does, but I don't know what she's saying. She's got a scratch and sniff and she don't know what to do with it. Tree herder, who pooped my pants? Old man Walter, every day. He's like, every time you guys put these pants on me, there's shit in the drawers. And they're like, sir, that's you making that mess. He's like, no, I won't be lied to, damn it. It's got to be a struggle at the White House. Sure crazy, I can't remember a good movie coming out. The last good movie I went and saw was This Is the End, with James Franco and Seth Rogen and all those people. You know, they're like living in Hollywood. They're playing themselves as the characters, and then like the end of the world happens. That movie is very inappropriate, but I think it's funny. That was the last good movie I saw. I don't think it was a blockbuster, though. I think the last blockbuster movie I saw was American Sniper. That was the last time I was at a theater where I had to wait in line for like an hour. The only time in my life that had happened before is when Harry Potter came out and I was like 12. And that was a big deal too. And we were standing in line for 2.5 hours to see that. And that was the first time in my life anything like that had ever happened. That was Harry Potter. But then when American Sniper came out, I remember standing in line and I remember being like, if I have to be in this line more than an hour, I'm leaving. Like, I'm not sitting here playing this. I got other stuff to do in my life. And then I remember we were starting to be like the next ones in line. And then a whole group had come out and they were all crying and their husbands are carrying them along and stuff. And I was like, what the hell are we about to do? What's in that room? I thought we were going to watch a movie. What the hell is this? But the ending of the movie, you know, when they're showing the real footage and all that of the fire trucks and everybody celebrating and whatever, and there's people crying, and everybody in the theater sobbing. I was like, holy, I didn't cry. Movies don't make me cry like that, but everybody was sobbing. That was the loudest sobbing I ever heard in my life. Like 70 people in a room just crying their ass off for American Sniper. That was the last blockbusting movie I hadn't seen, I think. Rappy, last movie I saw in theater was Top Gun Maverick. I guess a lot of people like that. I've never seen any Top Gun movie, ever. It's not that I have anything against Tom Cruise, although he is some Scientology yahoo, but I've never seen any of the Top Gun movies. Matthew, Rocky 5, yep, never seen any of the Rocky movies either. I guess a lot of people like those. Zero, you cry every time? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. It happens. RK. I also like Mr. Bean, and I grew up on Monty Python. I've seen some Mr. Bean stuff. I've never seen Monty Python, though. And I get so much shit when I say that, but it's true. Never seen it. Sure you heard, I'm not crying, you're crying. Right. Two Storm, Shrek 2 is my last movie. Those are some good movies, though. And like the Puss in Boots. I love all those Puss in Boots movies. I love that. That stuff cracks me up. Sure crazy, last movie I waited for was Return of the Jedi. Holy, Return of the Jedi? What is that like? I always hate saying what number movie it is because it's not the right number, but it's the number that they came out in. Return of the Jedi, it was like the second or third movie to come out, and Pizza Hut was doing the posters because I went there for my birthday. I think it was my birthday when it came out, and I had a big birthday party. I was a kid, I was a child, but I remember going to Pizza Hut with all my friends for my birthday party, and we all got Star Wars posters, and it was Return of the Jedi, and that was like a big deal back then. That was like back when you could be excited about some stuff. Zero, somebody's out here cutting onions. Let's see. Rappy. It was pretty good. I actually liked it better than the first, the Top Gun movie. I'll have to watch them all since they're all out now. Pumpkin, last movie I paid to see was Star Wars. The first Star Wars? Like the Star Wars that came out in the 80s or whatever? Or was it the 80s? I think it was the 80s. Hold on. Here, let me take a gander. When did Star Wars come out? KJP, you need to come on. We hit that 8-minute mark. 1977. Came out in the 70s. I didn't realize Star Wars was that old. I didn't realize. RK, I watched Monty Python in the 70s when there was only 5 channels. I don't know. I think some things are better like that. I remember having digital cable when you get up to like your channels are like 999 or whatever back when I was a teenager. And I remember still not just feeling like there's nothing on. Have all those channels and just feel like nothing's going on. Gonzo, last one I saw in theaters was The Dictator. Isn't that... Oh, I can't even think of his name. My Name is Jeff guy. I've never seen any of those movies, but you know what I'm talking about. Well, Hooligan, she decided to come to work today, and we got Peter Ducey in the house. That's always good. Maybe she'll actually call on him today. I don't know. Get your votes together. I'm still thinking purple. Oh my God. The Hooligans that got pink, you guys got it today.
Give folks a couple of seconds to settle in.
Prostitute.
Coming here in pink and white. She still looks like shit. She hit that crack pipe right before she came out on stage. Look at her. It's rough.
All right, everyone. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Prostitute.
Thank you. Since the October 7th Hamas terrorist attacks in Israel, we have seen an alarming rise in reported anti-Semitic incidents at schools and on college campuses. There's no place for hate in America, and we condemn any anti-Semitic threat or incident in the strongest terms. We're also closely monitoring and concerned by the reports of anti-Semitic threats at Cornell University. To the students at Cornell and on campuses across the country, we're tracking these threats closely. We're thinking of you, and we're going to do everything we can on both at Cornell and across the country to counter terrorism, anti-Semitism. Today, we announced that the Biden-Harris administration is taking multiple actions to address this alarming rise. President Biden has been clear. We can't stand by and stand silent in the face of hate. We must, without equivocation, denounce anti-Semitism. We must also, without equivocation, denounce Islamophobia. Following the October 7th attack on Israel, DHS and DOJ have taken steps to ensure campus law enforcement is included in engagements with state and local law enforcement and have taken numerous steps to provide outreach and support directly to campuses. The Department of Education is expediting the process of making it easier for students and others who experience anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, or other discrimination to file a complaint under Title VI of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. In addition, this week, senior administration officials are meeting with Jewish leaders and universities to discuss the threat of anti-Semitism on campuses and what the administration is doing to act. In the upcoming days and weeks, the administration will continue to work to combat anti-Semitism and all hate-fueled violence on schools and also on college campuses. Turning to the announcement that the president just made a short time ago, following the president's signing of his historic executive order on AI, Vice President Harris will travel to United Kingdom to advance the administration's work to ensure the safe and responsible use of AI. On Wednesday, the Vice President will deliver a major speech in London outlining the Biden-Harris administration's vision for the future of AI and the steps we are taking to realize that vision. On Thursday, she will continue advocating for this approach and will participate in the global summit at AI safety, where she will make clear the United States is committed to lead on AI. She will also meet with Prime Minister Sunak in London and other leaders to continue our close consultations on the conflict between Israel and Hamas and Russia's war in Ukraine. And finally, a new feature in the briefing room over the next few weeks, we're going to be putting a spotlight on the first 10 drugs selected to price negotiations through Medicare, thanks to President Biden's Inflation Reduction Act. And for 10 days, we'll talk about how lowering costs for each of these drugs will lower costs and also save lives. First up is Eliquis, a drug used to treat blood clots that nearly 3.5 million Medicare recipients took last year. In 2022, in that year alone, Medicare Part D enrollees spent over $1.5 billion in out-of-pocket costs on this drug. And at the same time, Big Pharma made record profits. Manufacturers of the drug executed more than $97 billion in stock paybacks and spent over $100
Those people made the jab? What you talking about?
Lobbying since the drug was launched. President Biden and congressional Democrats took on Big Pharma and won, so seniors don't have to choose between health care and other basic needs. For example, a senior from Texas, her name is Myra, wrote to President Biden and said bringing down the cost of Eliquis below the $700 her family pays could mean that her husband can finally fill his prescriptions without having to worry about whether they can pay rent. And because of the Inflation Reduction Act, millions of people will see lower prescription drugs costs. Now, before I turn it over to Admiral John Kirby, who's going to give us an update on what's going on in the Middle East, I wanted to say welcome back to Zeke and congratulations on your baby boy. It's good to have you back in the briefing room. It's been too long. And with that, Admiral Kirby.
The amount of hooligans saying she looks like Neapolitan ice cream just cracks me up. My goodness.
We continue to closely monitor events in the Middle East and the conflict between Israel and Hamas. Of course, the president remains continually briefed, was briefed throughout the weekend, and of course, again this morning. And as I think you know, he spent some time yesterday on the phone with Prime Minister Netanyahu and with President Sisi of Egypt. In the call with Prime Minister Netanyahu did receive a commitment that the Israelis will endeavor to support a significant increase in the flow of humanitarian aid into Gaza, so additional trucks. And we had 45 or so get in yesterday. We're hoping that we can get some more in today, but obviously, even with the increase, it's going to take time to make up the difference. And we know there's an awful lot that needs to happen to accelerate and to increase that flow of aid. For our part, we continue to meet with regional partners, including, I think, as you know, the Saudi Defense Minister, Khalid bin Salman, is here. He's going to meet with Jake. In fact, I think that meeting's going on right now to discuss the latest in the region and ongoing efforts to prevent the conflict from widening. You've all heard the President and Jake be very clear about this. Our message to any actor seeking to exploit this conflict is don't do it. And as you all know, we have strengthened our force posture in the region. We're continually watching to make sure that any actor who might be tempted to jump in here knows that we will take very seriously our national security interests in the region, not to mention our obligation to protect our troops and our facilities that are going after ISIS in places like Iraq and Syria. Now, I just want to add just one little thought here on top of Kareen's excellent comments on anti-Semitism. I think you all saw what happened in Dagestan, Russia, yesterday, and what can only be described as a chilling demonstration of hate, bigotry, intimidation. Some people have compared it to the pogroms of the late 19th and early 20th century, and I think that's probably an apt description, given that video that we've seen out there. Local, provincial officials certainly came out pretty swift to condemn this mob. And I heard within the last hour or so, apparently Mr. Putin has decided to have some sort of meeting with his security officials. But outside of that, we've heard crickets from the Kremlin. Nothing. No condemnation. No calling for a stoppage of hate, discrimination, and bigotry towards Jews. Nothing. And I think that speaks volumes. And the same goes, for here in the country. Kareen talked about what's going on college campuses, but the same goes for Islamophobia. There's no place for that in the country. It must be condemned.
We're all going to wear our glasses today.
And we all need to work with might and main to stop that kind of hate as well.
Thanks, John. Over the weekend we saw the...
I think that is like the coolest ringtone. I am a NASCAR fan.
Oh, see, I put my glasses on. Now he's got to take his glasses off. Lame.
That is freaking amazing. I like it.
So over the weekend we saw the stepped up Israeli ground offensive in Gaza.
Yeah.
Does the U.S. at this point consider that, or when the President spoke with Prime Minister Netanyahu yesterday, do you consider an invasion of Gaza at this point? And does the U.S. What is the U.S. assessment right now of the Israeli objective in Gaza, the military objective there? And does the U.S. believe that eradicating Hamas militarily is achievable?
Well, there's a lot there. I'll let the Israelis characterize their ground operations. We're not going to slap bumper stickers on it here from the podium. They can speak to, and they did. They had a press briefing today. The Defense Minister Gallant talked about what they're doing. And by all accounts, it appears that what they're trying to do is really put a lot more pressure on Hamas leaders. And when you're trying to go after the leadership of an organization, as we well know from our own experience against ISIS and against Al-Qaeda, putting that pressure, you have to be able to apply a discrete amount of force. And that's easier to apply with soldiers than it is to apply just from the air. So that's what they have described what they're doing, and I think I'll leave it to them. Now, as for your question, can you defeat them, I think is how you put it. Again, you got to be careful with analogies, but what we have, I think, demonstrated to a fairly well is that you can decapitate a terrorist organization, you can decimate their capabilities, you can render them a lot less effective. You're probably never going to get rid of the ideology that backs them up. and allows them to recruit and to resource. But look at ISIS right now. It's a shadow of itself. Remember, they were storming across Iraq and Syria with this big caliphate that they wanted to govern. It's a shadow of its former self. Still a viable threat, which is why we have some troops on the ground, but it's nowhere near the threat that it once was. And Al-Qaeda, the same thing. You can say the most recent intelligence community report an analysis that they have been rendered completely ineffective in places like Afghanistan. Doesn't mean that there aren't offshoots. Doesn't mean that they don't try to morph and change into something else. But we think that you can, in fact, have a tremendous impact on a terrorist organization's leadership, their resourcing, their capabilities, their ability to recruit, their ability to operate. Doesn't mean it all goes away, but you can.
Two questions for you. First of all, does the White House have a view on this idea of leasing or otherwise obtaining Egyptian territory in the Sinai Peninsula for Palestinian refugees to stay on a temporary basis?
I think right now, Trevor, the focus is on seeing if we can get safe passage out. And obviously, should we be able to secure that, we would have conversations with partners in the region, including Egypt, about what the capacity would be to provide some sort of temporary subsistence capability.
A temporary, well, that must have cost a fortune.
Get out of Gaza. Our sense is that they want to go back home. Many of them want to leave now, of course, and that's understandable. But there's not a desire to, by many, at least from our sense of it, that want to flee forever and go somewhere else in the world. So at some point, you got to start thinking through what that's going to look like, and I just don't know that we've had any solid answers to that right now.
Did that come up on the CC call with Biden yesterday?
I won't go beyond the readout on the call.
Okay, and then related to that Rafah crossing, any updates on getting people out through that corridor?
Unfortunately, no. I mean, but as you heard Jake say yesterday in a various set of interviews that he did, we're working on this literally by the hour to try to do that. We know we have several hundred Americans that want to get out too, and we're working on it.
Admiral, you mentioned Putin's response or lack of response to this anti-Semitic mob at the airport, but his spokesman reportedly said that yesterday's events were largely the result of outside interference and that the security meeting is in part to discuss attempts by the West to use the events in the Middle East to divide the Russian society.
Well, isn't that sweet? It's classic Russian rhetoric, isn't it? When something goes like bad in your country, you just blame somebody else, blame it on outside influences. The West had nothing to do with this. This is just hate, bigotry, and intimidation, pure and simple. And a good leader, a decent leader, would call it out for what it is, the way President Biden has called it out here in this country, instead of blaming the West for something and pushing it off to somebody else.
And as the IDF enters this sort of next phase of this conflict, the president again urged Prime Minister Netanyahu to act in a manner consistent with international humanitarian law. Does the president still feel, or does he feel that Israel is abiding by the rules of war? Without getting into reacting to events on the ground in real time, which we're just not going to do, this is a conversation we consistently have had with our Israeli counterparts, and as you rightly note, it was part of the discussion yesterday with the Prime Minister, and you heard the Prime Minister today speaking in Tel Aviv about the efforts that they're undertaking to try to avoid civilian casualties, and I think that they certainly are making that effort. It doesn't mean that there haven't been civilian casualties. Tragically, there have been many, thousands of them. But unlike Putin in Ukraine, and unlike what Hamas did on October 7th, killing civilians is not a war aim of the Israeli Defense Forces. Their war aim is to go after Hamas terrorists. Terrorists, I might add, that are using innocent Palestinians as human shields. But is the president concerned that Israel is going to break the rules of war? And if not, why does the president feel the need to repeatedly bring this up in, it seems, every conversation that he has with him?
Because it's something that even the Prime Minister brings up in the conversations, that they both recognize that as democracies, it's important to abide by the law of war and to protect innocent life and to try to minimize civilian casualties. It's not a lecturing. It's a reminder from two leaders of two vibrant democracies that this is what separates us from folks like Hamas.
Thank you. I'm here, John. The U.S. ambassador to the UN said that we should not be numb to the suffering of Palestinians, whether it's the journalists, ordinary people, or aid workers. The number now is 53. Every time we sit here, the number goes up. And also, the Save the Children Fund said that the number of children who was killed in Gaza is more than the whole world conflict since 2019. So why do you think your message, you keep saying that we don't want civilians to die, and you ask Israel to exercise restraint and to abide by international law? Why do you think your message is not getting through to the people in the Middle East? They actually, basically, they don't believe that the U.S. is doing enough to protect civilians.
Well, back to Mary's question, there's not a single conversation we haven't had with our Israeli counterparts to better understand what they're doing to try to minimize civilian casualties. And again, as friends can and friends should do with one another, to make sure that we're on the same page about that. And the United States is literally leading the effort to try to get humanitarian assistance into Gaza. And if it wasn't, quite frankly, for American leadership, I don't think you'd see. In fact, I know you wouldn't see the increase of the aid getting in. Again, we know there's a lot more that needs to be done, but it's because of American leadership on the ground and American convening power that we're able to get that aid in and try to see if we can sustain it. We're working very hard at this. I just want to repeat it. Every single innocent life lost is a tragedy. Every one. Whether it's a Palestinian life lost or an Israeli life lost.
What if it's an American life lost?
There's no reason for these families to keep grieving. And we're going to keep doing everything we can to work with our Israeli counterparts on the minimization of civilian casualties.
Just one more quickly. On the meeting with the Saudi defense minister, yesterday Jake Sullivan said that we should talk about the future two-state solution. Do you believe that Prime Minister Netanyahu would publicly said he's against two-state solution, that actually this is something that you can discuss as we go forward and you're looking for a political outcome?
Yeah. We've discussed it privately with our Israeli counterparts. You heard the president in the Rose Garden last week talk about it publicly, right at the top of his press conference. It's absolutely something he's 100% committed to, and he still believes in the promise of it. Though it may seem a little bit more illusory now, we still believe it's the right thing to do for the region, for the world, certainly for the Palestinian people.
Go ahead, April.
For both of you or for John, you have a historic coupling with DHS, DOJ, Department of Ed with this civil rights law when it comes to anti-Semitism and Islamophobia on these college campuses. Because of this historic coupling, will there be stiffer penalties now? I'm talking about the penalty part for those who are carrying out hate and terror, as Karine said in her opening statement.
April, I'm not sure I'm qualified to answer that question.
You're not an expert on what's racism? Because that's what she cares about.
I'm afraid.
That's going to be up to DOJ.
But you went beyond just hate. You went into terrorism. Yeah.
Is she the only douchebag in there wearing a compliance cloth?
And also Title VI of the Civil Rights Act. So, look, that's going to be something that DOJ is going to decide on, right? We're talking about Title VI under the Civil Rights Act of 1964, right? That's what we're saying that people, as they deal with what's happening in these campuses.
As they deal with
the path that we're going to try and deal with this. Again, DOJ, Department of Justice, is going to deal with the penalties and how they move forward on that. We're just not going to speak to that from here.
Not beyond hate, though, but terrorism.
What I was saying, anti-Semitism, right? It is unacceptable. That is what we've been seeing in these college campuses, and that's what I was referring to. Okay, all right, Gabe, go ahead.
I don't know why she does that side part. It looks like shit. Is it because she doesn't have a wife anymore to dress her?
Throughout this weekend, how concerned is the White House that these demonstrations will spiral out of control?
No, we believe in the right of peaceful protest, even if it's, espousing ideas we don't agree with. But
unless it's ultra MAGA supporters,
we don't. Nobody wants to see peaceful protest turn violent or turn dangerous. The way that this mob activity did in Dagestan yesterday. So it's of concern, and it's something that we'll continue to talk about with our allies and partners.
You mentioned also no update to the Rafah crossing negotiations. At last check, the administration is saying that Hamas was holding that up. Is that still the case? What can you say with what exactly is holding up those negotiations as American families wait to see when those Americans are?
It is still the case. They've been making a series of demands that we're not able to accede to. I know you'd like to know what those are, but I think in order to try to make some progress here, we're going to preserve a little bit of that publicly. But yes, Hamas is still the holdup. Israel is willing to let those Americans out. Egypt is willing to let them come out. The holdup is Hamas.
Would you say the biggest sticking point is fuel at this point still?
I won't get into more detail on that.
Thanks, Admiral. We saw today a renewal of fighting between Saudi forces and Houthis. The Saudis also said they...
The new sign language person looks like Rudy Giuliani after a transition.
Are you seeing this activity in addition to what's been going on with Hezbollah in the north of Israel as Iran directing their proxies to ramp things up now that the ground offensive is underway?
I don't think we know enough about these recent attacks that you're talking about to make a call here. Obviously, the Houthis have been backed and supported by Iran, but I can't tell you with any specificity whether they were specifically involved in directing these. I want to make it clear before anybody suggests that I'm somehow walking away from complicity by Iran. We know that they back and support and resource the Houthis. Same with Hamas, same with Hezbollah, same with these militia groups in Iraq and Syria. We've not backed away or shied away from calling it like we see it. But with these particular reports, I couldn't be certain.
If you were calling them like you see them, you wouldn't be worried about shapeshifters.
Called for a humanitarian truce. 120 countries voted for it. The United States voted against it. The death toll in Gaza keeps rising. Is the U.S. at any point calling for a humanitarian ceasefire?
We do not believe that a ceasefire is the right answer right now. We believe that a ceasefire right now benefits Hamas. And Hamas is the only one that would gain from that right now as Israel continues to prosecute their operations against Hamas leadership. What we have said should be considered and explored are temporary localized humanitarian pauses to allow aid to get to specific populations and maybe even to help with the evacuation of people that want to get out, move more to the south. We do support that. We do not support a ceasefire at this time.
Are you afraid of being isolated in this? I mean, of being at odds with the international community?
I will let other nations speak for their prerogatives on this. President Biden has been crystal clear about where we are on this. It's about making sure Israel has what it needs to continue to defend itself and to go after these Hamas leaders. It's about making sure humanitarian assistance can get in to the hundreds of thousands of people that need it, and it's about trying to find and get out hostages that Hamas is holding. Those are the three things we're focused on.
As you continue to see U.S. military assets targeted in Iraq and Syria, can you say whether the concern about this war broadening out into a greater regional conflict, is it greater now than, say, a week ago?
I don't know that I'd put a percentage on it, MJ. We're deeply concerned about that potential, which is why we have done everything we can to send a strong signal of deterrence to prevent that. In fact, if you just look at the decisions the president has made, they're all designed to prevent.
Just stop it, Kirby face. We're done with your shit. Tell the ragdoll to get on stage.
Continues to have with world leaders, certainly there in the region. Everything we're doing is to try to prevent that, but it is still of concern.
Can you say whether there's any kind of assessment at this point on the video that was released by Hamas just earlier today featuring 3 women who appear to be held hostage by Hamas?
We're not able to independently verify the authenticity of those videos. We're also not in a position to refute their authenticity. It's beyond reprehensible that Hamas would put these videos out there like that. I guess on one hand, for the families, I suspect that,
the hell is the sign language person doing? They were like rubbing their front side. I don't know if it's got tits or not, but something.
See their loved ones in such a state. I mean, but it's reprehensible that they would do that.
And there remains no sort of proof of life video featuring American citizens as far as U.S. officials are concerned.
Not that I'm aware of.
A question on a follow-up. First, can you confirm reports that the U.S. believes Israel took steps over the weekend to shut down Gaza's phone and internet communications, and that it was the U.S. that convinced Israel to reverse those measures?
I would just tell you that we're glad to see that the internet connectivity was restored.
You know, for 34 hours, the majority of Palestinians in Gaza had no way of reaching each other or the outside world. Emergency phone lines were down. The New York Times says paramedics were left driving toward the sound of explosions, and people were left to die in the street. What is your response to that? Is that upholding the laws of war?
This is why we were glad to see the internet connectivity restored, so that first responders could do their job, so that journalists could do their job, so that more information could pass to the hands of innocent people in Gaza who want information about where to go, where not to go. I mean, we're glad to see that got restored. And yes, we were part of the conversations that led to that restoration.
Phil?
Thank you. I've got one question and then a quick follow-up. Israel recalled its diplomats from Turkey after the Turkish Prime Minister said that Hamas is a liberation group and called Israel a war criminal. What is the president's response to that kind of rhetoric from an ally?
Well, we'll certainly let President Erdogan speak to his comments. We don't have to agree with everything he says on every issue to still maintain the fact that he is an important NATO ally and has had a very positive influence, particularly on like the Black Sea grain and trying to help get that out there. But we do not associate ourselves with those comments.
And then you were asked about a two-state solution, and you noted that the administration has had consistent conversations with Israeli counterparts towards that end. Has the administration had similar conversations with Palestinian leaders? Are there any Palestinian leaders or groups that the White House has identified who would be constructive in those types of talks?
We absolutely have, particularly with President Abbas. In fact, when we took office, there had been almost no relationship with the Palestinian Authority by the previous administration, and we worked hard to restore that relationship and to try to get those conversations going. So yes, we absolutely have.
So that's President Abbas is the one that the administration would like to see the Israelis negotiate with at a future date.
We're not at a point right now on negotiating over a two-state solution. So I think you got the cart way in front of the horse right now for where we are. But we have had conversations with Palestinian officials, including President Abbas, at President Biden's level about the need to continue to pursue a two-state solution.
We have to wrap up. Thank you so much. Admiral, you said the president got a commitment from Israel that they would allow a significant increase of aid to come into Gaza. Can you be more specific? How many trucks are we talking? What would be an appropriate amount of aid or trucks according to the White House?
Well, I think this first phase that we talked to the Israelis about is trying to get it up to about 100 a day. But that's a first goal. We know that, which is a dramatic improvement over where we are right now, is still not going to be enough. So we're not going to let it go. We're not going to drop it. We're going to continue to try to see what we can do to increase that volume. But initially, it's about 100 a day, and with a lot of hard work and continuing to build on issues of trust and being able to verify what's in these trucks, we're confident that we can get there in coming days.
All right, James in the back, you have the last question.
That's very kind. Thank you very much. Two questions. First, on the hostages. More than 3 weeks have passed now since the original Hamas attack and the seizure of hostages. How many Americans have you confirmed in that time are actually hostages?
Less than 10.
That's not a number. I want a number from you.
Less than 10.
Why can't you give a number?
James, I've given you an answer. What's your next question?
You've given an answer. You haven't been responsive. Let the record show. The other question has to do with Israeli war aims. The Israelis have said that their objective, and they've been very explicit about it, is to destroy Hamas. From you and other administration officials, we hear that the objective is to ensure that Hamas can never terrorize Israel again. Those are two different objectives. Are you having a problem with the Israelis in terms of a clear communication here of their objectives, or have their objectives, to your eyes and ears, appeared to change over time?
No, and no.
So how does the United States support the goal of destroying Hamas?
We support what Israel is trying to do to protect their citizens from the threat of Hamas. And James, I think you know this, we aren't on the ground fighting in this war. There's no intent to do that. These are Israeli military operations. They get to decide what their aims and strategy are. They get to decide what their tactics are. They get to decide how they're going to go after Hamas. We're doing everything we can to support them, including providing our perspectives, including asking them hard questions about their aims and their strategy and the kind of questions we'd ask ourselves. But the question you asked me is a question better put to the Israeli Defense Forces. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Admiral.
Lying makes you weak.
Thank you, Admiral. Because of the events happening on the South Lawn, we don't have that much time. Zeke, you just want to...
She's dressed like she's ready for Vice City.
We plan to move forward with and House Republicans plan to move forward with a funding bill to provide supplemental assistance to Israel this week. They're seeking spending offsets. That's also moving to decouple that from Ukraine and the other supplemental request from the administration. What's the White House position on that? Would the president sign a Israel-only supplemental request, or is the White House still insisting that they all move together?
So look, I do want to do a little bit of a lay down here because this is incredibly important. When you think about Hamas and you think about Putin, they represent different threats, right? And but both want to annihilate a neighboring democracy, and we've been very clear about that. And so we can't afford to let that happen. And that's what we've been very clear about. So making sure both Israel and also Ukraine succeed in their fights for democracy against terrorism and tyranny, it is vital to America's own national security. So we must help innocent civilians devastated by Putin's war in Ukraine and the conflict between Israel and Hamas, including by providing life-saving humanitarian assistance in Gaza. That is important as well. And there is a bipartisan consensus. We've seen it. We've seen the bipartisan consensus in the Senate. You have heard me say how the director of OMB and also our Office of Legislative Affairs have been giving briefings in a bipartisan way to members of both the Senate and the House. And it is important. We see a strong majority of Republicans and Democrats in the House and the Senate, as I just mentioned, who both have been very vocal on the record. Just last week, I listed out a bunch of House members, a few House members and senators, and quoting them and saying what they have said on the record in supporting both Ukraine and Israel. Supplemental, this urgent national security needs, and so that's what we want to see. There's no reason why that should not happen. There's no reason why we, as America, United States of America, cannot make sure that Israel and also Ukraine has the funding that they need.
And is the president open to considering any spending offsets for that funding?
So look, I'm certainly not going to get into hypotheticals from here, but what I can say is...
House Republicans are calling for that right
now. I understand that. I hear you. What we've been very clear about is that we want to see both move forward. We want to see both of the requests that we've made in the supplemental for the national security. We want to see both move forward because it is vital as those two countries are fighting for their democracies.
They're farting for their democracies. Well, damn, just give it to them, I guess.
Like other emergency funding that Congress has passed with bipartisan support, they do not require offsets. They just don't. They don't require offsets.
I didn't even know that was an option.
Because they are emergency.
Fart for your freedoms. That's got to be blue team stuff.
Well, I am telling you that they don't require offset. These are emergency requests. That's not how it goes. Nancy, I haven't called it.
Thanks, Greg. I want to ask you about the new executive actions that the administration is taking place in response to anti-Semitic threats. I saw the list, the DOJ involved, Homeland Security involved, CISA involved. Given the skyrocketing number of threats, is all of that going to be enough?
So look, we've been very clear, and the president has been very, very focused, not just now, but since the beginning of his administration, on dealing with, and unequivocal, right? When we talk about hate, and there not being room for hate against Jews, not being room for hate against Muslims, and this is something that the president has been certainly steadfast on. Look, the announcement that we made, we're going to have DOJ and other agencies certainly be part of this, have conversations with the campuses and universities, and to see what else. This is the beginning, to see what else. Maybe there'll be other things that are needed, but this is how the president is showing how important this is, how critical this is, and how we have to take this very seriously. Just to list out a couple of things, the second gentleman today, as well as...
Why is she talking so quickly?
Miguel Cardona and other Biden-Harris administration officials will discuss action in Biden-Harris administration is taking to counter the alarming uptick in reported instances of anti-Semitism. So they're going to have those conversations with the Conference of President of Major American Jewish Organization. That's important. We're going to continue to have other conversations here on the senior level as well. Later this week, you have Secretary Cardona and Domestic Policy Advisor Nir Tandon will attend a site visit at University and hold a roundtable with Jewish students. And in recent weeks, the Department of Education has conducted site visits in San Francisco, in St. Louis, and in Maine to address and learn more about the anti-Semitism at schools and college campuses. And so that we're going to continue to hear directly from these Jewish organizations. We want, I said at the top, if folks have concern, I've listed out how they should be able to flag those concerns for us. And so we believe what we announced just today is incredibly important. It's just a first step. And there is no place for anti-Semitism. There is no place for it.
And does the White House believe that college administrators are doing enough to deal with this problem?
That is for them to speak to. Honestly, what we have been very equivocal about, anti-Semitism has no place in this country. There's no hate. There's no place or no room for hate. We've been very, very clear about that. I would refer you to them to speak to what they're doing on campus.
Sure, Crazy says she needs a gag order.
I may not have any information about it yet, but there was an
That's hilarious.
Anti-Semitic threats against a U.S. senator. Do you have any information about that?
That is the first time I'm hearing of it. Obviously, we're going to condemn any form of hate, including anti-Semitism, including hate against Muslim community, Islamophobia. We've been very clear about that. We will denounce any form of hate, any form of violence, and we'll continue to do that from here. I've not heard. This is the first time I'm hearing about that particular incident.
She sounds manic as shit.
The anti-Israel protesters in this country are extremists?
What I can say is what we've been very clear about this. When it comes to anti-Semitism, there is no place. We have to make sure that we speak against it very loud and be very clear about that. What the president when the president decided to run for president is what he saw.
When the president decided to run for president?
He saw neo-Nazis marching down the streets of Charlottesville with vile anti-Semitic just hatred. What the hell? And he was very clear then, and he's very clear now. He's taken actions against this over the past 2 years, and he's continued to be clear. There is no place for this type of vile, this kind of rhetoric.
We hear you guys, though, talk about extremists all the time. It is usually about MAGA extremists. So what about these protesters who are making Jewish students feel unsafe on college campuses? Are they extremists?
I've been very, very clear. We are calling out any form of hate. Any form of hate. It is not acceptable. It should not be acceptable here, and we are going to continue to call that out. And let me be very clear. This is a president that has continued to have that fight in his office, in this administration. You know, when he repealed Trump's Muslim ban on his first day in office. That is something that this president did. Again. He also established an inter-policy committee to counter Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, and related forms of bias and discrimination. We have taken this very, very, very seriously, from the president all the way on down.
Does President Biden look at these anti-Israel protests on college campuses and think it's nice to see that the country's youth are so involved, or does he think the next generation is doomed?
Here's the thing. There's no place for hate in America.
No.
I'm telling you, there's no place for hate in America, and we condemn any anti-Semitic threat or incident in the strongest terms.
She doesn't even know what she's trying to say.
I gave a message to students who are feeling under threat right now, right? You know, we're tracking these threats very closely. We are there for them. No student should have to be able to go to class, live on campus in fear.
That's how we felt when BLM was terrorizing anybody that didn't meet their standard in college campuses.
That should not be. We have to condemn them. We have to condemn them.
That's great. Can you tell us more about the president's meeting with lawmakers on AI tomorrow?
She's going to cry. She's going to cry in the car.
Will be one, and what exactly is going to be on the agenda? Like, is he recommending pieces of legislation that should pass?
So yes, as you know, the president signed this executive order, and it is a comprehensive executive order that the president was able to sign today. You saw him do that on camera, and the thing about that is it not only shows his leadership here in this country, but globally. And you're going to see the vice president obviously go to the United Kingdom to speak, to make a major speech at the global summit. So the president's going to have conversations with members of Congress as they move forward. You heard from Senator Schumer just now as they move forward in pushing legislation to deal with AI. And we believe this is an important step forward. What the president did today was just the first step. And it is comprehensive. It's something that we have not seen any global leader do. And now we need Congress to take action, to actually take legislation so we can actually put some laws into place. And so I'm not going to get into specifics on the agenda. We don't have anything to read out on any meeting. But the president, again, is going to lead on this effort as you saw him today, and as he's done in the past several months. We have to wrap up.
She is stuttering like crazy.
White House experimenting or using AI in any way right now?
I don't have anything to report on the White House experimenting.
Oh, you should speak on that, you douchebag.
You're not AI. You're the Penfield, right?
I don't know. Go ahead, Karen.
The administration's withholding over $7 million from Ohila, the loan servicer, after they failed to send billing statements out to 2.5 million student loan borrowers. And there were 800,000 borrowers who were delinquent then on their loans because of these glitches. How concerned is the administration about these problems persisting as the student loan repayment?
That woman in the back.
How many millions of Americans might be caught up with some of these errors right now?
So it's a very good question. I don't have a number of we don't have a number right now to share how many Americans or student borrowers are being affected by the glitches. Obviously, this is something that we take very seriously. This is something that Department of Education is dealing with as we speak to the glitches. Just don't have any specific numbers.
As quickly, I asked you about this in July.
Take a breath. Jesus loves us.
Warned about this midsummer. They sent a loan to some of these service providers, or sent a letter to the loan servicers saying that they were going to be poorly prepared for the restart, and they were worried about problems like this. Why are these issues happening? Was this surprising to the White House that there are now problems when the repayments started?
So want to get more information and get this more into context before I answer you on this question. Obviously, again, when it comes to the glitches that you're mentioning, we want to make sure this process is easy and smooth. So obviously we take this very seriously. I just don't have any details or specifics or data to share with you at this time. I want to go back to my team and connect with the Department of Education to get an exact understanding of what's going on. So I want to be actually really straightforward with you on that because it's important. I know.
Just another quick one on artificial intelligence. It's one of the subjects of the culinary unions bargaining again with the Las Vegas hotel and casino operators. Does the White House support their effort to get some kind of rules in place to prevent job displacement from AI?
So look, as you know, collective bargaining is incredibly important. The president believes in that, especially when both sides come together in good faith, and that's what we want to see. It is up to them. It's up to the union to decide what is important for their members. So I'm not going to get into negotiations. I'm not going to get into specifics. What I can do is speak to what we just saw. We saw a signing ceremony. The president signed.
She looks just like a crackhead.
As we know, AI.
She looks raggedy. Her hair's raggedy. She's swaying back and forth. She's stuttering. She's talking 90 miles an hour.
You want to
She just looks rough. She looks rough. It's not the weekend anymore, KJP. Put the drugs down. You'll be fine. Drink some water.
Leading on this issue not just here in this country, but globally. And so that is what we want to make sure is important. This was the most significant action taken by any government on AI. And so we're going to see the president, as someone just mentioned to me and asked about Congress. We're going to see the president continue to lead on this. We need Congress to act. We heard from Senator Schumer how they're going to move forward with legislation, and that's going to be important. And it should be done in a bipartisan fashion. I know I have to go. Oh gosh. Okay. Last one. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well,
I thought you were going to explode for a second.
No,
so I wanted to make sure
that comes later. My question is about, I know earlier John said that you don't believe in a ceasefire now. We don't have troops on the ground. And you've spoken about it obliquely, but what would the U.S. need to see and support the ceasefire in that region? I mean, what's the end game for us?
I mean, the Admiral spoke to this at length and very, very clearly about where we stand, where the president stands on this. I don't have anything else to add. I mean, he was very clear about how what's important right now is it's to supporting Israel defend itself against terrorists. In a way that holds up the law of war and protects its civilians. That's what we want to see at this time.
But as far as an end-game specifics, do you have specifics in mind that you?
I mean, the Admiral literally spoke to this. What our focus is on right now is to make sure that Israel has what it needs to defend itself against these terrorists. That is our focus right now.
And then finally, do you think that you'll be speaking, this administration will be speaking with members of Congress, House, and Senate prior to November 17th, which is when we face the next shutdown?
I mean, I've said this over and over again. We have our OMB director, Shalonda Young. We have the Office of Leg Affairs. Well, they have had consistent, continued conversations with members of Congress throughout, not just the past couple of days, but the past several months, and that's going to continue. All right, guys. Tomorrow we'll be back. We'll be back. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Corinne. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. KJP, you did a terrible job today. I mean, I could say that every day, but you don't normally get up there and shake and stutter, speed along like that. Not quite that bad. My goodness, that was terrible. That was terrible. She should just not come back tomorrow. I think that would be best. I need another one of these. Goodness. Still hear the lion and going on in my head. I bet she fell when she ran out of there, because that's the kind of day she's having. And then that one guy in the back, the reporter in the back, he was like, yeah, you're giving me an answer, but you're not responding to what I'm saying, calling out Kirby face. That was good too, because they can't ever give a straight answer. Even the soy reporters are starting to lose interest in this. One day they should just come out and there's just no reporters in the room. Maybe if that happens enough, they'll start answering the questions again. I don't know. Maybe that's the goal. It's kind of hard to say. Well, hooligans, that is all the coffee I had for you guys today. We did today ass backwards. Normally we start with the terrible press briefing. I really hate leaving after that. Just the taste in my mouth is terrible. It's terrible. It's like the hair products that KJP puts on her head. She couldn't have made herself look like more shit today. All she had left to do to ruin her day is just roll around on the ground and show up in leaves in dirt, because I mean she already looked really rough. She was behaving really rough. Kirby face, oh, Captain Hot Dog Fingers, he never provides anything, never adds anything to what's going on. I really hate to leave on this note. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna drop the Linktree link to all of you hooligans. If you would like to make donations or join the membership programs or check out the merch, you are welcome to do that. What I ask is that you join Gilded. I did drop the link earlier during the press briefing when you guys don't really have anything better to do. You're just listening to KJP flap her face. Just in case you guys wanted to join Gilded, you should. Gilded is free and currently the best way to receive notifications every time we go live. The hooligans are there keeping the conversation going 24/7. If you would like to join along, network with some hooligans and talk about what's going on, happening around the world. If you're more solo, then you can go check out the news board to keep you up to date with everything going on around the world. It is constantly updated by hooligans hanging out in Gilded. So definitely go join. It is free. You can access it from your computer. You can download the app and get it on your phone for free. That way you can receive notifications directly on your phone. That's how I use it, but there's a lot of hooligans that prefer desktop. So it's up to you. You can access all of that from the link tree. If you're really feeling saucy, go join jeffmaclive.com. You can click that link at the very top of the link tree, and it'll give you a free week to go check out all the cool stuff we have going on at the website. You can watch the live there uncensored. We have our own social media. We have our own messaging system and all kinds of other great things over there. So go check it out for a free week. No strings attached. It's not a trial run. It's a free week to go check it out. You're not going to be charged or anything like that. So definitely go utilize that, because near my birthday, that coupon's going to expire and you will no longer be able to check out the website for free. So definitely take advantage of it while that coupon is still there. It's been almost a year now. So definitely click on it if you haven't already. I'm going to read through the chat really quick, and then we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance, and we're going to wrap things up. I will be live at 6 p.m. Eastern Time over on Kick, jeffmaclive.com, as well as Jeff Mac Gaming. We're going to be playing the game tonight from 6 to 8 Eastern Time. We're playing Fallout 4. We're currently in Nuka World, playing some DLC and whatnot, but we will be doing that. If you want to hang out later, just a couple hours to forget your problems of the world and whatnot, just to have fun. If that's not your jam there, then we will be live tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. So I'm going to read through the chat. We're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance, and we're going to wrap this up. Let's see. Sure, crazy. It's clear. Jeff wants to clear his mind. I can't be clear enough. Can't be clear enough. KJP, her and all her nonsense out there. She was stuttering hard. And then they were talking about how they were farting for freedom out in the Middle East. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't even know. They're out there farting for their democracy. Like, well, shit, no wonder we can't win this war. We had a whole tactic we've been utilizing. We've been out here, like, raising awareness and using our free speech and stuff. We could have been farting this whole time. I didn't realize. It's always something to learn every day, I suppose. Let's see. Astral Hammer, you needed an extra news topic up your sleeve. You can't leave us like this. I don't want to. I wish there was some good news. I'm trying to think. Not that I can think of. There's no good news to be had. Mr. Beansy Beans, you got us covered. You got to fart for freedom. You got to. I didn't realize we weren't doing that. Yeah. This whole time. But see, if we start doing it, then it's going to be, it's acts of extremism. Today we caught those ultra super Kamehameha MAGA supporters out there farting for freedom. Just know if you catch anybody out there farting for freedom, that they're probably a white supreme pizza. They'll be, the Pentagon will be out there making announcements and whatnot. What's up, CB? Happy freedom. I appreciate you being here. Let's see. Hillbilly at heart. The carpet burn on her tongue makes her talk fast. It must be. I'm really surprised we didn't hear more about her and her little girlfriend's breakup that happened. I wonder, did they choose custody over the kid, or did they just decide to split it in half and have one final dinner together? I'm just kind of surprised there wasn't a news article about that. Gregory, next thing you know, she'll be looking on the floor for crack crumbs. I know, she might as well came out and been like, what's love got to do with it? Because she looked like she wanted to have a spell of domestic violence and crack in that pipe when she gets home, because that's what it was looking like. She was rough. She was rough stuff. Mad toxic fart flamethrower for freedom. In the name of freedom. You hooligans crack me up. All right, I have gone through and checked on all the chats, so it is that time once again. All right, hooligans, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, wrong page. There we go. We did the thing. Well, I appreciate all of you hooligans being here. You guys are fantastic as always. Like I said, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll be gaming it up just to have fun. And then tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we will have our next Coffee with Hooligans. I'm trying to think. I feel like I'm forgetting something, and I don't know what it is, and it happens every day. And then I end the live, and then I go, oh, damn, I was supposed to tell everybody, and I forgot. Can't remember. Well, either way, join Gilded. Be a part of Gilded. When I remember, I'll post it. And I'll let you guys all know. Be a part of Gilded at jeffmaclive.com. I'll see you guys on the next live. Big shout out to everyone that made donations, joined the membership programs, or purchased any merch. I really appreciate all of you hooligans, and I wouldn't be able to do any of this if it wasn't for you. So thank you so much for all your support. I'll see you on the next live. Until then, stand tall, shine bright, and that's a wrap.